Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome to the show. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, pop culture, so whatever's trending, these good old internet streets, we chat about it on this show. So before we get to today's topics, can you please do me a solid, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, if you are not subscribed, or notified, smash the notification button, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And I apologize for being late per usual. I was literally ready to go live, and then all of a sudden I realized my camera wasn't set up. I was like, wait a minute, why I can't see myself? So I had to do a little technical situation real quick before we got started. But anyway, so we got a lot of topics. We got to talk about, there's a remake in the works for Silent Night, Deadly Night. We're going to talk about it, done by the people that produced the Terrifier movies. So we're into that. Finn Wolfhard is about to start in a remake. Now, I don't know if a lot of people is going to be agreeing with it or not, but we'll talk about it. Plus, Denzel Washington told me he got a part that Ryan Coogler is writing for him to be in Black Panther 3. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, David Leitch, who co-directed the first John Wick movie and is going to direct a lot of other action films like Atomic Blonde and most recently The Fall Guy, basically revealed that Bruce Willis was initially supposed to play John Wick and not Keanu Reeves. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Dwayne Johnson's opened up about peeing in them bottles and being late to set and all the other stuff. So we're going to talk about that. Sexiest man alive. The person is supposed to be revealed later on today. I already heard who it is, so we'll talk about it. Allegedly. I'll put it on in case I'm wrong, but the rumors is floating heavily on this specific actor. I was going to say particular, but I settled on specific. But they got Benny Blanco on the list too, and people are kind of side-eyeing the situation and saying, were y'all blindfolded and just threw a dart at the board and then just hit Benny Blanco and y'all just added him? Because if you seen what he looked like, a lot of people saying he ain't cute. So we're going to talk about that. But look, Selena Gomez like him. So, so that plus Britney Spears, it looked like that child support payment about to come to an end in 3 days for one of the kids. So we'll talk about that. Charlamagne the God said it's okay, it's perfectly fine to misgender Caitlyn Jenner with all the stuff that Miss Thing been out here saying against the LGBTQ community, specifically the trans community. I'm gonna weigh in on that and see if okay, so like, is it okay to say like the misgender people who don't see it for us, but you are part of the community? So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about a bunch of damn pick-me's, such as Devin, Franco, and Arad Winwin. You know, their adult cinematography performers who have come out to support Trump. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, fans are gunning for Laura Roche to be a permanent judge over on Drag Race. So we got a couple of Drag Race stories. We're going to talk about Monica Beverly Hills because her name was trending yesterday. And I don't know if people knew this, but she was dating a guy by the name of Josh Sider who was running around to he trans too, but he was being an opportunist and a mess. But I forgot that he was actually dating Miss So Can Be Clocked. So we're going to talk about that because she spoke out. And we're going to talk about Valentina, talking about that she thought about taking her own life while questioning their gender identity. So we got a couple of topics like that and a whole lot more. So if you hear that, please hit that like button and that subscribe button, all that good stuff. Child, did y'all see the comments? What is happening? I'm being punked. I'm being hacked. I'm being something. What is this? Did my Jesus was transgender, a female man returning as a female woman in a lesbian relationship? Child, what mushrooms are you on? You on that good old meth type? What are you talking about, Willis? But I cannot tell my anyone. Okay, now this I agree, but anybody that does support him does took the mark of the beast. You know, I've always compared Donald Trump to Damian Thorne in more ways than one. He does give Damian from the Omen Tease in a lot of his behavior and stuff. But let's see what the people saying in the comments. Child Driver Seat is in the building. Ray J's in the news again. I know a friend of mine told me something about Ray J acting a fool. I also saw that Lil Nas X dropped a teaser for an upcoming song. I guess he got coming out. So I guess he's been cooking in the studio, cooking up some new music. Okay, Azealia, you want to sit up and run off with your damn mouth? My people fell off. Where's your shit at? I mean, she did say that she is releasing new music at the top of 2025. We'll listen to it and judge it vigorously. But I was like, maybe let me see if my friend sent it to me, because I'm always in a goddamn group chat. Oh, they said Ray J warns Pastor Jamal Bryant not to upload their interview and says somebody getting snatched off the pulpit. So he apparently, I guess, did an interview with Jamal Bryant. I'm trying to remember who Jamal Bryant is, because there's too many of you clown pastors that be out here just doing a bunch of buffoonery for clicks and likes. Is he the one that's married to that big forehead ass bitch, Shawnee O'Neal? Is that who that is? That bitch got a big ass forehead. I seen her in person when I was living in LA. He said, "What do you do now?" And he said, "Hello, Robert. Hello." Cleveland's in the building. But I don't know. He talking about doing an interview. But look, Ray J a damn clown. First of all, didn't he just like what was it? He just got into it with Nicki Minaj on her live, because sometimes she be doing like these little court situations where people, I guess, she summons you and you come up there and you tell her the issue and there's a bunch of whatever. Like, I've been hearing little things, but I ain't really pay attention to it. But but he actually called, like, he came up on her show talking about he a barb and all this other stuff. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, boy, you are so damn phony. You are thirsty for attention. Like, what happened to you? You still have not just accepted the fact that you are Brandy's little brother, that you will never be as big as she is. And it's just like, you just be trying to find ways to maintain your light in the spotlight. And it's like, child, if you don't go sit your tired ass down somewhere and go raise them babies and finally divorce Princess, because she don't want your dusty ass either. And then he always, every time he get into a fight, running for that backpack like he fucking Dora the Explorer. It's like, child, you keep trying to run for that backpack, you're going to end up dead, because you're going to come up on the wrong person, and you ain't going to have time to get that backpack. Ray J a whole damn clown. Just keep doing the fool, like, and then also he trying to create his own Zeus network on the backs of the trans girls. It's like, child, if you don't go sit your fat ass down somewhere and continue to be a clown. Anyway, you said Drake was named the 4th greatest pop star of the 21st century. Well, I can't wait to hear what the pundits is going to say about that. I'm like, is he? Well, he is successful, so we can't take that from him. But, the greatest pop star situation, I guess that would be debatable. I've never really seen Drake live. I've seen him perform on TV and things of that nature, but I've never really taken to him in regards of, like, really getting into his music. But anyway, let's get into our first topic. But before that, let me hit my banner. I was like, wait, did the background start changing? Because it looks a little different up in here with the background things. I guess maybe it is. Okay, so now let's get into this. Yeah, this is a different look. I kind of like it. I didn't even change it, or did I? Sometimes I'll be doing stuff, don't realize I'm doing it, but I actually like this color. But anyway, let's get into the situation. So I don't know if you guys have seen Terrifier 3, but if you have, well, even if you haven't, I'm sure you looked at the overall commercials and things of that nature, and you see that it takes place around Christmas. At one point, you have Art the Clown dressed up as, in a Santa suit. If you ain't seen the movie, I ain't gonna tell you how you got it, but for the most part, it's a movie that takes place around the holidays. So while I'm watching the movie, you could definitely see that the influence that Damien Leone had, not only on like classic slasher films, but also he was pretty much inspired by movies like Silent Night, Deadly Night. He was inspired by Black Christmas. It was a lot of those influences that was in the movie, particularly the scene of him looking out the window in the chair. Well, that was very much a call to Black Christmas, which is actually one of my favorite movies, the original, not the remake, the one with Margot Kidder, and then back in the day from the 70s. I can't remember what year that movie came out. It was probably like, what was it, 76, 77? It was in the 70s. We'll just stick with that. So then after that, then we got this other situation. So after what I was watching this, I'm like, you know what? I would really love to see someone tackle and remake a Silent Night, Deadly Night, if we can get something like that. Well, guess what? The same people that's behind Terrifier are producing a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. Now, for those who aren't familiar, also, I do also realize that this was a callback as well. Back when Silent Night, Deadly Night came out, there were protests. There were people actually protesting outside the theater because of the subject matter, the gore, the extreme violence, and all the other stuff in that film. It's me, Timmy. I said Timmy, but it was like Billy. But anyway, so yeah, and then they remade the movie. I didn't particularly like the remake. I was just like, whatever. It was forgettable. Kind of like Black Christmas. They remade that too. That wasn't good. Although I love me some Lacey Chabert and all the actresses that they had up in there because that was my childhood. But for the most part, I didn't think that was a good movie. Then you had, Billy basically, the guy that was stalking the girls, and they gave him a backstory. I was like, see, this is what I hate about horror movies, when y'all run around and y'all start giving people backstories. That's why I can't stand not John Carpenter, but I can't stand Rob Zombie's Halloween. He tried to make us sympathize with Michael too much, and then try to make us feel like, okay, there's this human aspect. I love the idea of just, you are the personification of evil. There's no reason why he decided to kill you. He just happened to come across you. Laurie Strode went and put that key under the mat at the Myers house because her father was in real estate, and was trying to sell the house, the Myers house. Michael was up in that house because he escaped from the Smith Road Penitentiary, happened to see her, took, a liking to her, and started stalking her and her friends. And then decided to take him out. I love stuff like that. I don't need a whole backstory on why this person do. I don't need a motivation. We got the motivation of what it was, why he did what he did. It's the same thing with this movie, Silent Night, Deadly. Well, you do get a backstory if you watch the original movie on why he was the way he was, the killer. And I love the fact that they actually revealed him. Like, you see his face, he has the Santa Claus outfit on and all this other stuff. I do have a picture. I don't know why I didn't bring it up. And then he wears like the Santa beard and everything, but you already know who it is. So yeah, this movie was controversial, and just like Terrifier 3, there were people protesting outside the theater when this movie came out. So basically, Cineverse is actually required the global rights. And the one thing I do not like about Silent Night, Deadly Night, it is so hard to be able to, it's not available on a streaming service. You can't buy it as part of a streaming digital thing. Maybe we'll finally get that now that Cineverse has acquired the global rights. I don't know if that's part of the deal, but many times when I've gone on, I was like, I want to go on Prime Video and see if I could purchase it. You can only rent it. And then, of course, when you rent the movie and you watch it, it's pretty much done after 24 hours? So basically, it said Terrifier franchise backer Cineverse is lining up another Christmas treat for genre fans in the shape of reimagining a cult horror film, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, and this is according to Deadline, by the way. So they said 40 years after parents picketed outside of theaters following the release of the first Santa slasher movie in the franchise, Cineverse has acquired the global rights to a new version and is launching during the American film market in Las Vegas. The reboot of the franchise, written and directed by Mike P. Nelson, who was behind such films as Wrong Turn and VHS 85. Now, VHS, I do like the franchise. I don't necessarily remember 85. Maybe I need to revisit it. But as far as Wrong Turn goes, is that the original or is that the remake? Because the original with Elijah Dushku, I love that movie. Part 2, I actually like too, because they're over the top with the violence. So and the kills were gnarly in that movie. So I do like Wrong Turn 2 for that. Afterwards, the rest of the movies was trash. And then the Wrong Turn, the remake, I actually didn't mind that one. I thought it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it for what it was. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to check to see which one that is. And then it said, and it's gonna be produced by Scott Schneid, I think is how you say his name, and Dennis Whitehead, executive producers of the original 1984 TriStar film, alongside Jamie R. Thompson, goes into production soon. It's currently stated for a late 2025 theatrical release, which would be brilliant. Start filming around now, because it's the holidays. So it'd be the perfect time to start filming. People can have their Christmas stuff out. You ain't even gotta pay to start shooting exterior shots of people decorating outside their house. You could just pretty much just go out there, send out a little camera, and start filming people's neighborhoods, just so that you can have that instead of just setting up a whole set of having to do that. To me, it's pretty brilliant to shoot it soon and then have it come out in October, November of 2025. I would say more or less November, because that'll be a good time because it'll be closer to the holidays. So for those who are not familiar, Silent Night, Deadly Night tells the story of a child who was traumatized after seeing his parents killed by a man dressed as Santa Claus. Now, years later, he dons a Santa suit himself and gets bloody revenge. The movie spawned multiple sequels over the years and a loose remake in 2012. We revealed, they said, another update to the series 2 years ago with Orwell Studios and Black Hanger Studios, which was behind that horrible ass Jeepers Creepers Reborn movie. But that movie, they said, hasn't made it to production. Now, the cult original was among the more controversial films of the 80s due to its graphic violence and advertising campaign, particularly its posters and TV spots that made significant emphasis on the killer being dressed as Santa, saying, "You made it through Halloween, now try to survive Christmas." Now, here is the thing. That tagline is genius. But it's just like, you know what? People are so damn uptight where it's just like, now you about to chop that nun head off. It's like, now, but people are so damn uptight where they sit up in here and just be like, you can't mess with Santa Claus. You can't make Santa Claus a killer. But you have to realize, like, after the success of Halloween, there was like every person under the sun was trying to come up with their own damn holiday movie. It was like I think Black Christmas actually came before Halloween. But we had Halloween, and now we got, what is it, Thanksgiving. What's going on with Thanksgiving too? And then you have like April Fool's Day, and then they had Leprechaun, and then we had, you know, it was every type of situation. There was even a movie that was a slasher film that I love. I cannot remember the name of it because I see it every now and again if it pops up on Shudder, where it was a movie that took a place around Independence Day. And it was this guy going around killing people and these little kids or whatever, I guess was, there was like this little boy that was trying to solve who the killer was or something or another. So, of course, you know, we had, and this is why I realized today that they didn't know what the hell they was talking about. I did not realize how problematic Siskel and Ebert was because I remember, like, as a kid, you know, growing up, people looked to Siskel and Ebert as being sort of like what Rotten Tomatoes is to people today, which is like you depended on the opinion of Siskel and Ebert to determine whether or not a movie was good because they did the thumbs up, thumbs down. They were like the two dudes in the Muppets that be up in the pulpit that be throwing shade. That was Siskel and Ebert. I wonder if they were a play on them from the Muppets. But yeah, they were the gold standard. But when I watch a lot of horror film documentaries, courtesy of Shudder, and many other deep dives that I've seen people do, like in their YouTube videos, which I absolutely love. I love when people sit and they do like these breakdowns and deep dives of like slasher films and certain eras of movies and things of that nature. They would always point out how like Siskel and Ebert were very biased when it came to horror movies. Like that wasn't their zhuzh, and they did whatever they could in their power to kind of thumb their nose up at horror movies. And it's like, we get what we need to get out of it. We understand. We'll know if a movie's trash, and we know if a movie is brilliant. But I guess maybe they just equipped that their standard of horror, it had to be on a level like a Citizen Kane, which I guess if you love The Exorcist, or that would be their gold standard. Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, whatever. But it was just like they just didn't like the hack 'em, sack 'em, chop 'em up, and all that other stuff type of films. Slashers are my favorite type of genre. I don't particularly care for supernatural and all this stuff, but if there was any kind of genre that I love, it would be slasher films, probably because it's kind of closer to reality. It's like vampires, werewolves, demons, and slashers. That's my situation. But they said that Siskel and Ebert were many to condemn the film, and Siskel went as far as to read names of the production crew on air, telling them shame on you. And this is sort of like, that to me is gross, that you know the type of power and influence that you have, and you going up in there talking about, I'm going to read the names of the producers so I can shame them over a film that they worked hard on. It's not easy to make a movie. And clearly they've never made a damn movie a day in their life. So for them to do that, to me, that's just disgusting. So they said that the film, because of the controversy, the film opened well, outgrossing A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I think this came out obviously it came out because if it outgrossed A Nightmare on Elm Street, it came out in 1984. And they said that they basically opened on the same day. Now, before being pulled from theaters, the film took in more than $2.4 million, 3 times its budget in 10 days. So, according to Cineverse's executive director, he said the following. He said, "I've always been a huge fan of Silent Night, Deadly Night and can't wait to bring Mike's vision to fellow fans and iconic slashers." As we have seen this year, there continues to be an incredible demand for independent horror films with bite, and we believe this can deliver strong audiences from theatrical to home entertainment and streaming. Added Nelson, saying, they said the opportunity to work with producers involved in the original Silent Night, Deadly Night and to partner with the Terrifier 3 team is an honor. I'll never forget walking into the video store at the mini mall when I was 5 and seeing the poster of the original film. I was in awe and started imagining what horrifying things would happen. To be part of the film's legacy many years later is insane. I'm looking forward to getting production underway and unleashing my new take on this compelling story. Billy is back. So that's why I say, it's me, Billy. That's what I meant to say, and I said Timmy by accident when I was about it earlier. It was like, yes, it's me, Billy. But anyway, the weird part about this whole thing is that I could totally relate to him when he said that. I remember when I was a little kid, and it was like when you're a child of the 80s, when I would go to the video store, and I would always, for some reason, like everybody's going to do with me and my siblings, they go into the kids stuff. Chris gravitated towards the more controversial section. I went always towards the horror stuff. And I told y'all this story. The one time that I wanted to see Chud because I liked the cover. And I know what the movie was about. So my mother didn't even know either. So she was just like, okay, so I picked the movie because we got to pick films or whatever. And she put the movie, she paid for the movie and everything because we lived by it was like one of those, this is before Blockbuster even existed. So there was like the mom and pop shops, which I actually miss. It's like me feeling nostalgic. I miss those days. That was like when things was fun. Now it's just sort of like, we got Netflix and all this other stuff. Even though we have access to so much things, sometimes I'll be in the mood to watch certain movies and they don't be on any of the streaming services. So that's one of the things I really am upset that we still don't have Silent Night, Deadly Night available to like at least own digitally. So that way I could have it as part of my streaming collection. But I remember she put Chud in, we watched it. Didn't even make it past the opening sequence when the lady was walking down the street with the dog. In the I think she was like in the alleyway or something or another, and then the sewer opens and the creature comes and it eats her, and then the dog is left by the sewer. She was like, what the hell is this? And turned it off. I was so mad because I wanted to watch that movie so bad. But then I got to see it when I got a little older. But that was always me. It's just the fact that when I would look at certain posters, and that was the great thing about growing up as a child of the 80s, is that when you look at those films, you would look at the poster or you would look at the box cover, the VHS box cover, and you would just, your imagination would just go wild of like, okay, what is this movie about? And I want to see it. And so the good thing is I always had cool friends with parents who let them watch scary movies. So that's how I would watch horror films. Or my aunt would come over when my mother would go away, and then we sit and we get to watch scary movies and things. So those were the days. But yeah, my parents were pretty strict with me watching a lot of R-rated stuff. I turned out fine anyway, even though I did sneak and watch. But as I stated, you know what? I'm definitely excited to see this film only because the people behind Terrifier are going to be behind this. And I absolutely love the Terrifier franchise. Even if you don't particularly care for all the other things, whatever it is that you may not like about the Terrifier films, the one thing I like about it is it's an independent film. They're unrated. So they pretty much just put things in the film, and it's sort of like they really push the envelope. Whereas I feel like if Silent Night, well, they already did do a loose remake. But I feel like today, if Silent Night, Deadly Night would have wound up at Tight Ass Spyglass or one of them damn places, they would have botched that damn film. We still waiting for what's going on with Scream 7. I keep hearing so many damn stories in regards to what's going on with that movie that they still working on the script and trying to get it right. So I say all this to say I'm as well, clearly you can see based off of how I feel that I'm pretty much excited to see this new movie or this remake and their interpretation of it. And I do wonder, like, how far are they going to push the envelope in regards of Silent Night, Deadly Night, what they did in the movie back in 1984. What are you going to bring into this? And if Damien Leone is going to be involved, because Damien Leone, I know he was behind this movie called Scream. He didn't direct it or anything, but he had a hand in some of like the kill props and all that other stuff. Like he had a hand in like helping them out and stuff behind the scenes with the effects and things on that movie. So I wonder, because of the people behind Terrifier 3, if Damien Leone is even gonna kind of have a little input if you will, or help out with some of the kills, like setting the setup of the kills and things of that nature. So because he does do a lot of effects and makeup and things of that nature. Like he is a huge Tom Savini fan, so I definitely see like that influence is definitely gonna be in this movie. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. You said Ray J became popular from nibbling on Kim K's snatch. That and being Brandy's brother. Okay, he was Brandy's brother first before we seen that peen. And it says Scream Factory issuing a 4K remastered version only on physical. The owner of the original film is limiting to rentals. They want you to buy the physical as it never made a $25 million budget due to TriStar abandoning it. That was the Reagan era, which was draconian to marginalize. Child, we about to go back into the Reagan draconian era when who getting all of it for a second time. But yeah, I agree that I didn't. So that was the thing. Also, I did hear about the the 4K remaster version. I wanted to figure out how I'm gonna watch it though, because I don't mind buying it. But I would have to figure out how I'm gonna watch it because I don't have like a DVD player. Well, actually, I do. I have like a PlayStation. I just gotta hook all that up because I just watch everything via streaming. Felix said I never hear Drake's music anywhere, so I don't get his popularity. Yeah, he is fairly popular. Hey, Linnea, he says Siskel and Ebert were a fine example why I hate movie critics. Critics are not meant to critique everything because few people like every type of film, so it's not their specialty. They should shut absolutely. And that was a thing that clearly was not. And if you watch many of like horror movie documentaries, they always went extra hard on like slasher films and stuff. But of course, they would thumb their nose and Silence of the Lambs, even though that is a horror film by basically when you watch it, it is a horror movie. No, it's a psychological thriller. It's like, shut up. And that's the thing I hate about Hollywood is that they don't take movies like horror films, superhero films, all that stuff seriously. You have to kind of be a little clever with how you label it so you can get it in those rooms so that way they can, give it the awards. So you can't say it's a horror movie even though we know it is. So that's what I was like, yeah, that's why I like Today where it's like, you know what? Thank God for I don't know. Should we thank God for Rotten Tomatoes? Because it seems like it's a much better situation with that. Whereas you get a multitude of different opinions. And I prefer that over just some two old ass critics up there just thumbing a nose at a particular film because they don't like it. Oh, it doesn't have a plot. Oh, it doesn't have this. But certain movies is made for certain things. Some movies are just there to be carnage candy. It ain't supposed to have a plot. That's what it showed. People getting cut, in the words of my girl Jada Pinkett in part 2 of Scream. It's a bunch of white ass people getting their white asses cut the fuck up. As I paraphrase. Like you said, I remember seeing that movie as a kid and I was horrified. Lady was with big breasts hanging out and hung up. Oh yeah, I remember that scene. Wasn't that Linnea Quigley that was hung up on there? Who every time you see her in a movie, her titties is out. She was in what was the movie I just watched? Night of the Demons, where she stuck the lipstick in her nipple, when she got possessed by the demon. I love Night of the Demons. That's another one of my favorites. There was a girl that I saw that was dressed up as Angela for Halloween when I was on my way to work because I noticed by the hair and the outfit, I was like, okay, she giving Angela for Night of the Demons. I'm ready for the drag of these. Oh, well, that is coming later on in the show. Ebert dubbed Spice World the worst film of the year, saying movie made for gay men who refuse to be adults and kids whose parents should basically pit the kids. Okay, and he was a big ass glutton who should have been watching his BMI intake. Okay, so, well, you know what? Roger Ebert is dead, so I shouldn't talk ill of the dead. But I think all that shit talk, that's why he wound up in that wheelchair with the bottom of his mouth missing. Remember that? But like I said, let's not talk ill of the dead. I was like, okay, yeah, just say you hated the damn movie. And for you to just come up and, but they always need to find a way to, read and be shady by making those comments. But anyway, speaking of remakes, let's get into this one. So Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things is about to remake a movie that y'all probably remember from 1999 called Idle Hands with Devin Sawa. Vivica Fox was in it, Jessica Alba, and Seth Green. So Stranger Things star Finn Wolfhard is signed on to star in a remake of the 1999 horror comedy Idle Hands, which will reunite him with Ghostbusters Afterlife director Jason Reitman, who will only serve as the film's producer. So he's not going to direct. Now, the thing with Finn Wolfhard, why I thought this was relatively interesting, is because they're saying he's going to co-write the script and possibly co-direct it alongside Billy Burke. Because they actually did film something together. They sold their festival hit Hell of a Summer, which they co-wrote, co-directed, co-starred in, and produced. So Finn Wolfhard, it seems like to me that he's sealing his fate in regards of what he's going to do post Stranger Things. He's writing things, he's creating, he's getting involved further into his career where he's co-writing stuff that he comes up with, and he's getting into the behind the scenes of directing, and he's also getting in front of the camera, which I think is relatively interesting. Oh, sidebar, happy 44th birthday to Ryan Gosling. I don't know why he just popped in my head, but I just want to wish him a happy birthday. So it said in August, Neon acquired horror comedy Hell of a Summer. Okay, so that's what's going to Neon. Sidebar, I love Neon and the stuff they produce. I just saw Cuckoo with Hunter Schafer. That was a weird ass movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm sitting there thinking, Cuckoo is like about a crazy person. It was about a bird, and these crazy experiments they was doing in the town where her and her family and stuff moved and all that other mess, and how they was like this weird little noise and how they would just become an animal. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's a weird freaking movie, but I enjoyed it. But that's what Neon does. Neon is like the more alternative and far better quality of films, versus Blumhouse. So they basically said that Neon acquired the horror comedy Hell of a Summer, which debuted at the Toronto Film Festival in 2023, garnering critical acclaim for the duo. The indie distributor behind horror breakout Longlegs plans to release the film in summer of 2025. That's always the weirdest thing. It's like you make a movie, you sell it, and now you have to try to find a time to release the film. So the movie was done like 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago by the time the film comes out. So Idle Hands marks the reteaming of the duo and Reitman, who worked with Wolfhard and Burke on 2 Ghostbusters films. I like the first one, did not like the second one. And then they did Saturday Night for Sony Pictures, which flopped at the box office. That should have never got a theatrical release. Like Saturday Night, I understand, that the type of film that it is. It was about Saturday Night Live. But to be honest, nobody was going to go to the movies to see that film. That should have went straight to streaming. But maybe they decided to release it theatrically temporarily so that way it can get, become an Oscar contender. So Idle Hands marks, it also said that Reitman is producing alongside Jennifer Todd and Suzanne Todd via their Team Todd banner. And I have to say, Idle Hands was such a weird movie. And I haven't seen it in a while. Now you're going to make me revisit it, but I have seen it. It is on one of the streaming services. I think it's on Hulu or one of those places because I did see it when I was scrolling trying to find something to watch. And so I feel like that, I don't know if that's an interesting film that would want that. Why would, of all films, that would be the one that you would want to remake? But it's just like basically, what is it? Devin Sawa gets his hand that becomes possessed and starts to go around and killing people. I mean, maybe there would be a way that they can rejudge it for this generation. But yeah, as I said before, it stars, as you can see in the picture, Devin Sawa and Jessica Alba, and it centers on a teenage slacker whose hand becomes possessed with murderous intent. Finn, who stars in Stranger Things, and Burke are committed to breathing new life into the teen movie and keeping it authentic to the demographic. At the 2023 edition of TIFF, Wolfhard told Variety, "Our number one conversation was how annoying it is to see new teen movies and how badly our age group is represented." And I'm going to be honest. I'm actually going to have to agree with him on that. I have noticed that one of the things that irritates me when I watch a lot of movies is like, who's writing teenagers? Because I feel like y'all make teenagers annoying. They're always back talking their parents. They're always being rebellious. And they're always doing something stupid. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, kids do things that's dumb every now and again. But the way that y'all dumb down these teenagers and you don't write them correctly, I always say, if you don't like the way you're being represented, then pick up, a laptop, get you some of that, the software to write a script, Final Draft, or whatever is of your liking, and you write your little draft or whatever, and you write your script, and then you send it, shop it around, have somebody look at it, polish it up a little bit. You have your co-writer, and then you make things happen. So while I'm kind of on the fence because I was like, I have a love-hate relationship with Idle Hands. Like, it was a cute film, but it's not something that I think would is a revisit over and over and over again. But maybe, you know what? Since I haven't seen it in a while, I should probably just revisit it and see how I feel about it today. Because, sometimes when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, okay, it was all right. But then when you give it like a second watch, it was like, this movie's not so bad. So I'll give the original Idle Hands a gander. But in regards of the remake, if Finn is at a place where he's like, you know what, I was just so irritated the way that people of my generation is being represented. I'm assuming at his age, he's what, Gen Z? So at his age, if he can, write people or kids in a way where they're not a bunch of damn dingbats and annoying, then I'll be here to watch like what he plans to bring to this franchise. And then, if it turns out to be a terrible movie, at least we have the original. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all here for a remake of Idle Hands with the kid from Stranger Things? And sidebar, what the hell is Stranger Things? When are we getting this final season? I feel like y'all been filming it for like 3 years already. I mean, I get the writer's strike and all that other stuff, but at some point, Netflix, y'all just playing in our face in regards to this damn movie. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Denzel, who's talking about that he's got a couple more roles left in him before he officially retires from acting. And one of the roles is a part in the third Black Panther movie, which we don't have any idea when that's coming. I don't know the status of Ryan Coogler on the script or whatever, but he says that he wants a part in Black Panther, and I could definitely see it for him. Because here's the thing, we got Gladiator 2 coming out this week. I've heard rave reviews about Denzel and Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal and so many other actors that's in this film. I'm hearing like it's a worthy sequel to the original film, and I love me some Ridley Scott, but his movies have been a lot more missed than hit as of late. So I'm really hoping and praying that he hit it out of the park with Gladiator 2. But based on the critic stuff, the critics that I watched and the people that have seen it and is reviewing it, because the embargo was listed yesterday for the movie, which was Monday, I'm looking forward to seeing this film now because I've heard nothing but good things. So speaking to Australians today, while on the press tour for Gladiator 2, Washington said that director Ryan Coogler is writing him a role in the third Black Panther film. It will be one of Washington's final movies, along with a new Steve McQueen project and a film adaptation of Shakespeare's Othello. How many times are going to remake Othello? But look, if Denzel can make that movie happen, I'm not going to complain. Saying for me, it's about the filmmakers, especially at this point in my career. I'm only interested in working with the best. This is what Washington said. I don't know how many more films I'm going to make. It's probably not that many. I want to do things I haven't done. He said, I played Othello. And that's why I was about to say, wait a minute. Didn't he play Othello before? He said, I played Othello at 22. And now he said, I'm about to play Othello at 70. He continued, referring to the Shakespeare production co-starring Jake Gyllenhaal that opens on Broadway in February 2025. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he is coming to Broadway to star in Othello. I totally forgot about that until it reminded me in the article. Because I did see those advertisements in New York. I saw those alongside of Nicole Scherzinger playing Norma Desmond. We already talked about her yesterday. We're not getting into that again. So, he said, after that, I've been talking to Steve McQueen about a film. There's a director by the name of Steve McQueen, a Black guy. I believe, what was the movie that he directed with Michael Fassbender, where I think he was a sex addict and you actually got to see his peen in the movie. That was the movie that Steve McQueen directed. So he said he wants to work with Steve McQueen. After that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. After that, I'm going to do the film Othello. After that, I'm going to do King Lear. After that, I'm going to retire. So while the Steve McQueen project remains under wraps, Netflix has already announced it's backing Antoine Fuqua's war movie that will star Washington as the ancient Carthaginian General Hannibal. As for Black Panther 3, well, you know, I love me some Antoine Fuqua. So, and you know, Antoine Fuqua, he directed a lot of movies with Denzel. He did Training Day. He did the Equalizer films. So they're frequent collaborators. Antoine Fuqua also recently directed the Michael Jackson biopic. So I'm actually, you know, here to see what he's going to bring in regards to this. They said, as for Black Panther 3, Marvel has yet to officially announce a sequel, but fans have been expecting a third tentpole from Coogler given the success of the franchise. And he should be getting one. You ain't going to have us waiting out here like we still waiting on Blade. So we definitely need, you know, a Black Panther sequel. Now, in regards to the whole Black Panther sequel, where are we going with this? Is Shuri still going to be Black Panther? First of all, I did not like the decision y'all made. I understand in the comics that she does become Black Panther eventually. I just was not buying Letitia, bony behind, as Black Panther. I really feel like what they should have done, and I get it, y'all wanted to just pay respects to Chadwick Boseman. But I really feel like y'all should have recast the role. If we recast Spider-Man, if we could recast Batman, if we could recast Superman, if y'all can come out with 5,000 different versions of the Joker, y'all could have put in a new actor to play Black Panther. I understand it was too soon. People was feeling away or whatever the case is, but it's time to recast the role. And I like the idea that, you know, even though the Wakanda Forever was a bit uneven for me in regards of like what I loved, you know, in regards of what I wanted it to give me from the previous film. I love the original Black Panther. Love that movie. The sequel, I have a love-hate relationship with it. It was just too depressing, too somber, but I get it. It was because of the whole Chadwick Boseman situation, and y'all spent more time trying to pay respects to Black Panther rather than giving us a really good superhero movie. So I understand he was in a conundrum. But now that y'all was able to exercise them demons and get out your system, we need a real good, you know, Black superhero on the same level as the Captain Americas and the Thors and all that other stuff. We need to get bypass that. I think everybody's moved on. No shade to Chadwick, but I feel like that we've mourned him enough that it's time to give us the next Black Panther. And I'm thinking the way y'all playing it, that would be little T'Challa, which would be his son that he had with Lupita Nyong'o. So, as far as like a role that Denzel will play, who could he play? Would you like to see him as a villain? I definitely would like to see Denzel play a villain in the Black Panther franchise and see where he goes with that. Maybe he's like there's some sort of connection to Killmonger or something. I don't know. They'll figure it out. And I like Ryan Coogler. I like Ryan Coogler. So I'm definitely curious to see what he's going to bring with this. But another thing that I forgot to mention that I should bring up is that this will be a full circle moment for Washington appearing in Black Panther, because what I did not know about Chadwick and his connection to Denzel, but I think he mentioned this back in the day, but I forgot about it. Terry revealed that Washington basically paid for his acting school one summer and said that there is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington. He said, "My whole cast stands on your shoulders." This is what he told Washington while honoring him with the AFI Life Achievement Award in 2019. "The daily battles won, the thousand territories gained, the many sacrifices you made for the culture on film sets through your career, the things you refused to compromise along the way lay the blueprints for us to follow." And I have to say that when you look at someone like Denzel Washington, he is definitely, as far as like a Black actor, the gold standard. He is, you know, the Mount Rushmore of Black actors and Black excellence. When we have, you know, Denzel, we got Sidney Poitier. I'm trying to think of there any other bigger Black actors that we could put on that Mount Rushmore. I'm sure there are, but those are the two that come to mind. when I looked at, I remember like Sidney Poitier, he was before my time, but when I was growing up, it was always Denzel Washington. He was always the gold standard of the type of actor that you would want to look up to and become if you were a person of color. And so I'm definitely, I've always loved me some Denzel. And you want to know something? I love the fact that his son, John David Washington, is pretty much clicking at his heels. He learned from the best, obviously because of who his father is. But John David Washington is another one who has proven himself to be a phenomenal actor as well. And I think he recently did a movie, can't remember the name of it, that I think was based on a play that I think was directed by his brother. So the whole family talented. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think it is? Would y'all be excited to see Denzel in a Black Panther sequel? I'm here for it. And I'm definitely be curious to see like what part he will play. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. You said Shame movie. Oh, thank you. It was Shame. That's what it was. Because I was like, yeah, Steve McQueen directed that movie where Michael Fassbender showed his peen. That big old German sausage all up in that damn movie. I actually met Michael Fassbender in person. Very good looking. I met him, Michael K. Williams, Marion Cotillard, but that was during the premiere of Assassin's Creed, that terrible movie. So yeah, that's what I met him. And I looked dead in them eyes. I almost got lost because I'm like, them eyes is blue. A good looking man in person. You said filming has started on not Norbit 2, Chad. Oh, is that you with this whole mess with Letitia James as Rasputia? You said that yesterday. There is no Norbit coming, no Norbit sequel. Okay, so now let's get into another favorite movie of mine, and that would be Jonathan Wick, or as they call him in John Wick Parabellum, Giordani. So apparently, David Leitch, who co-directed the original film, which I know a lot of people don't know this, but Eva Longoria produced John Wick. She gave $6 million of her money to this film, and she made the money back. She said she's still making money off it. So she said that was the best investment she ever made. But what people did not know, and I don't think they knew, but you will find out today, is that David Leitch, while he was doing an interview celebrating the 10-year anniversary of John Wick, can't believe it's been 10 years. 2014 is when that movie came out. He said that Bruce Willis was originally attached to play John Wick. So in an interview with the Hollywood Reporter for the 10th anniversary of John Wick, producer and the Fall Guy director David Leitch revealed that he and director Chad Stahelski learned about the project. Bruce Willis was attached to the script. Leitch and Stahelski even said that they entertained doing John Wick with Willis before they brought the story to Keanu Reeves, who they knew from working on the Matrix movies. So what people don't realize that Chad Stahelski was actually one of Keanu's stunt doubles on that film. He also, and for those of you who did not know this, that Chad Stahelski also doubled for Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow. So I don't know how much he was involved in the film, but there are parts of the film where when Brandon Lee had passed away, what happened on the set, Chad Stahelski doubled him in certain parts when you would see like him walking into the apartment or doing other things of that nature, or the hair on his face. So Chad Stahelski was actually one of the stunt people that worked on that film as well. And he also was, he was a stunt double for the Neo character. So they also said that, and now they can't stop thinking about how different these seminal action movies would have been with Willis in the lead role. In some ways, they might even have been better. Well, I don't know if that's the case. I feel like while Bruce Willis could bring a sort of gravitas to the role, and we know what Bruce Willis brings to the action stuff, like he's really good with the one-liners and things of that nature, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, and all that stuff. Like we loved him in Die Hard and Armageddon and Pulp Fiction and so many of the other great action films, but we also love him in other things too. I love him in The Sixth Sense. I love him in Unbreakable. Actually, yeah, I love Unbreakable. That was definitely another great M. Night Shyamalan movie. So I like when he does more of his laid back, more quiet, somber parts, but we all love him in the action movies. And to me, when I look at John Wick, John Wick, we love the choreography, the fight choreography, the extended action sequences. I don't know if Bruce Willis would have been willing to get up in there and do all of that. You know, they do the quick cuts. He depends a lot on his stunt people to do all that other stuff. But he's not. I don't see Bruce Willis actually getting up in there and doing that. When we see movies like Speed, even though Keanu did not do a lot of action movies, you know, he doesn't have a lot of action movies under his belt. When we see compared to Bruce Willis, when we've seen him in Speed and we've seen him in The Matrix and all these other films, we see those, how he throws himself into a lot of those action sequences. Even in John Wick, we love the fact that, yeah, he doesn't do all the stunts. He does as much of the act. He calls it action. I do action. That's what he said. He don't sit up there acting like, you know, he's Tom Cruise going through a damn midlife crisis with Tom Cruise. And I don't know if y'all seen that Final Reckoning trailer where he got to be, I'm holding on to a plane as it's in the air and I'm being flipped around and all this other, you know, he do all that crazy stuff at 60 something years old. It's like, okay, sir, you still feel like you got something to prove. You go ahead and do that. But for the most part, Keanu Reeves is like, I'll do as much as I can, but I'm not going to be crazy to be doing this stuff. You know, some of the stuff I can't see Bruce Willis at the time fully committing to doing the stuff required to be in a John Wick, or, you know, required of an actor in a John Wick film, let alone sign on to do 3 more movies. So I feel like they made the right decision with going with Keanu. And plus, from what I could understand why they went with him, because they were saying 10 years ago when the film was being done, Willis would have been 59 years old, almost a decade older than Reeves, who was 49 or 50 when he worked on the first film. To get a sense of Willis's physicality at the time, he was starring in the Sin City sequel, A Dame to Kill For, and still had a decade of direct-to-DVD action movies in his future. He also had just done Red 2, which was not a good movie. I prefer Red over Red 2. So the idea of him top-lining a vengeance flick like John Wick would be unbelievable. The hero just wouldn't be the well-oiled, expertly choreographed killing machine that Wick was in the first movie. And here's the thing, even if you're in your mid to late 40s, you can still pull off a lot of that action stuff. You'd be probably in a lot more pain than usual than you were if you were in your 30s or your 20s. But yeah, you'd feel a lot of ice baths and things of that nature. But like I said, I couldn't see Bruce Willis trying to commit to doing all that type of stuff. And we've seen what Keanu Reeves is capable of. And on top of that, I remember hearing that when they came up with the film, when they originally had the John Wick film, the whole idea was it was supposed to be like a Clint Eastwood aged, an aging assassin. So he was supposed to be older, but they went with, Keanu Reeves instead of him. So they basically said an older Willis struggling to match the firepower and manpower of the criminal forces against him would enhance the era of the decision this man may have made when choosing to embark on a vengeance mission. We get why he had to do it. They killed the last connection he had to his true love, which would be Helen, his wife, and that would be the dog. Because when she died of cancer, she basically left him this dog to keep him company. And then when, that pain in the ass, I can't remember his name in the movie, but he played Reek on Game of Thrones. When he came in and they did what they did, tried to steal the car, and then they went and killed the dog, that's when you woke up a sleeping giant. I was going to say dragon. Would have been the same thing. But it was like you woke up a sleeping giant. And when they found out, it was like, oh, he took his car and he killed his dog. And everybody's like, oh, damn, boy, you fucked. And just to get those ideas, just those little beats of this learning how lethal this guy is, and then we finally get to say, because you hear the reputation, the Baba Yaga and all this other stuff, and then you see him in action when we get down to the red circle, which is like still one of my all-time favorite action sequences. It was like, I ain't never seen no mess like this, especially in an American action movie, and then you see Keanu Reeves in the middle of doing all of that, my Virgo twin, because like I said, we born the same day, September 2nd. And I forgot to also mention, the original name of the movie was called Scorn before they wound up changing it to John Wick. And I think they changed it because that's what Keanu Reeves kept calling it. He said, I keep calling it John Wick. He didn't want to call it Scorn, so they ended up going with that. So they were also saying there is one specific aspect of the story where I personally think that Bruce Willis could have improved on the overall approach to John Wick over Keanu Reeves. I think Willis would have brought more emphasis on the inherent sadness that should fuel Wick through his mission. There's profound loss coloring John Wick, for the dog, of course, but also for his wife and for the life he chose outside of the violence that now consumes him. Reeves is a concentrated force, and we get goosebumps when he defiantly tells his opponents that he thinks he's back. But Willis was always more of an emotional performer, especially in the action genre, and his relatability brought nuance to his gun-toting roles. I can't relate to the skilled assassin that is John Wick. In Willis's hands, I might have been able to at on some basic level. But that's because I wonder what Bruce Willis's sign is. He probably is more of an emotional person than a logical person, whereas Keanu Reeves is a Virgo. We're more logical than emotional. So we can be emotional when need be, but in so many ways of trying to captivate that for, an audience, I can totally get what the person behind this Cinema Blend article is trying to say. And they also said that John Wick was not meant to be one of the best Bruce Willis movies. Instead, Keanu Reeves gets to carry that torch. One of the things I will say about this is, like, look, I always say, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And clearly this was meant for Keanu Reeves, because you have to remember, before John Wick even came out, he was pretty much like a washed up actor. Like, he was just in a series of bad movies. Then John Wick came along, and I remember I was working at AMC at the time, and I remember hearing so much stuff about this. And I think this is around the time also that I got excited, because the Raid films were around and all this other stuff. So I was kind of excited for this type of brutal, steady, like the extended camera, like how it just captures the action. And then it's like you're getting to see everything that happens. Because one of the things I despise when I would watch action movies, specifically when I would watch the Bourne Identity films, or any of those type of movies, I hated the quick cut action movies. I'm like, literally, I'm counting 11 cuts where y'all doing hand-to-hand combat. What the hell is that? It's like, are y'all doing martial arts or y'all voguing? Like, it just irritated me the way they would do those stupid edits. So to get to see them kind of take on that whole Shaw Brothers, martial arts from over in, China, that type of action, and bring that to Western film, Western cinema, that was like a breath of fresh air for me. And then to see that Keanu Reeves was someone who we knew and loved from how much he threw himself into the Matrix films, we trusted that he was going to give us quality stuff. And then, of course, the word of mouth happened, which is why I always compare John Wick to Terrifier, because people would not touch this film. People thought it was going to be a flop. It was a piece of crap. It didn't really look all that great, but then people saw it in the theater, because I remember it was in a small theater when I worked at AMC, and then on the 6th floor. And so then after that, that's when the buzz got around, the word of mouth, and then people got interested, and then everybody started talking about it. And then I realized once it hit home video and streaming and things, of that nature, that's when everybody got excited, and then that's when the movie did gangbusters, and then we got John Wick Part 2. And that, I remember when that came out in the theater, that was a huge hit, because people already seen the first one, and they liked what they saw, and they had to see this film in the theater. So I said this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Would y'all have liked to have seen an alternate, or probably try to be in a part of an alternate universe where Bruce Willis would have been John Wick? I would have liked to have seen that, but no shade, I actually prefer Keanu Reeves, because I just love Keanu Reeves in this role, and I just can't imagine anybody else taking on this part. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said, thank God not. Me too. I'm actually looking forward to Ballerina. And it was so funny, because Len Wiseman's directing it, and I like Len Wiseman for the most part. And based on the first trailer, it looks pretty good. And I love action films, and I love Ana de Armas, and I thought she was the best part of that last James Bond movie. Even her little 5-minute sequence or a 10-minute sequence. He was, she did a phenomenal job in that film. So when I heard that she was signing on to play this character in Ballerina, that's supposed to take place between John Wick 3 and 4. Then I was like, okay, I'm here for this film. Like, she definitely on the screen looks like she could definitely take on those, on the fight sequences and all that other stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And I love the fact that Len Wiseman directed it. And then it was supposed to come out last year. Or wait, it was supposed to come out this year, actually. And then, but Chad Stahelski was like, no, we need to beef up the action a little bit. So he was just like, no, we need to take some time, we come up with some action set pieces, and we're going to make this movie better. And based off of what I've seen in the trailer so far, it looks like money well spent. And then the time that they took to set up these action set pieces definitely paid off. And funny enough, there was a movie that came out that's called Canary Black with Kate Beckinsale that is on Prime Video. The movie was terrible. But I love Kate Beckinsale. And so whenever Kate Beckinsale comes up with something and it was action, I'm like, I'll watch it. But it was definitely giving me like, okay, this is like sit at home, watch this movie. It was like, bleh. It was terrible. But somebody actually said that, it kind of reminds me of like a movie that they mentioned that I think that was directed by Len Wiseman. And I said, it's so funny you mentioned that because she used to be married to him. You know, he directed her in the 2 Underworld movies and Total Recall. So yeah, Kate Beckinsale used to be married to him, and now he's directed this movie with Ana de Armas. So yeah, I am definitely, as you said, looking forward to Ballerina. Well, nobody said that he was able to do Shakespeare, although he has tried. But it's like, remember when I think at one point didn't he do? Yeah, I believe he did Shakespeare, and then child, don't even get me started on that British accent he wound up doing in Bram Stoker's Dracula. I try to forget that. But when it comes to action, I feel like that Keanu Reeves pulls it off. And then the emotional beats that is required for John Wick, he definitely pulls it off. So he puts us all in that film. Marshall Vogue. Okay. Bruce, okay, so that makes sense. He is a Pisces. Pisces are very emotional. So that is how he could, bring that in. I have a lot of friends that are Pisces. I haven't got a lot of relatives as Pisces. Yeah, he has had a long, successful career. And rightfully so. He's worked hard to have all of that. Okay, Chad, let's get into Dwayne Johnson to my, he's out here admitting it, that he was peeing in bottles and things because he just did an interview with GQ magazine. And remember, a couple of months ago, there was a story that came out that they were talking about that he was late on set, that he was a nuisance, that he was, in between takes or whatever, when it got, I guess, too busy and he's locked into a scene or whatever, that he would pee in a bottle and basically have his assistant throw it away. Now, here's the thing. If I'm going to pee in a bottle, because I'm in the middle of shooting or whatever, and I don't want to have to run all the way back to the trailer to go to the bathroom, it's like, okay, I'll take the bottle, but here's the thing. If you're going to do all of that, can you at least give me a bag to put it in? Because I ain't no way in hell I'm touching your warm ass piss in a bottle and the liquidation is coming out on the side, like it's dripping. And plus, how do you even know, like, all the pee that you done had, whatever it is you putting in your system, apart from all them damn roids, but allegedly, and HGH, when you putting all that in a bottle, like, who's how do you even know if, like, you gonna get all of it up in there without it topping over? Like, sometimes when you be thinking that you got enough space to put the piss in when you in the bottle, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, it's filling up, and I'm still going, and you got to worry about the pee actually like overflowing. That would be the almost embarrassing. That's still gross though. But anyway, let's get into the story. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says a report about his disrespectful behavior on the Red One set, because of course he's talking about it now because that damn movie's coming out next month, set was partly true, but he and his collaborators are denying certain aspects and insisting it wasn't nearly as bad as it all sounds. Now, in a new GQ profile, Johnson was asked about being frequently late to set. A story in The Wrap said that he was late an average of 7 to 8 hours per day and missed several days of shooting, which inflated the cost of the $250 million production by $50 million. Well, so that basically means that the movie budget was $200 million, but then they ballooned the $50 million. Child, first of all, why y'all still out here overspending on films that don't even look like they need that kind of money? And this is why a lot of these movies be flopping at the box office. Y'all keep giving these big budgets to movies that I'm like, who said that this movie needs this kind of budget? Like, when I looked at Red One, I mean, the only Red One I know is the one that produced The Fame, and The Fame and Jennifer Lopez's Love ? Album. A lot of the songs that was on there. So now I sit up here and talk about some damn Red One. First of all, that movie looked terrible. And yeah, I'm confused. There's Red One and there's Red Notice. Because was the Red Notice one the one with Gal Gadot? I think so. But why you making a lot of movies with red in it? So he said, yeah, that happened. So now when they talk about the whole situation, he said, yeah, that happens, but not that amount. By the way, that was a bananas amount. That's crazy, ridiculous. He added that the controversy overall was bullshit. Jake Kazza, who directed the film, was quoted as saying that Johnson never missed a day of work ever. He has a lot going on. He could be late sometimes, but such is Hollywood. That's the case with everybody. Honestly, I've made 3 big movies with him. I've never seen him be anything but great to every single person on set. Added his co-star. And then, of course, okay, so it is the new Christmas movie that he has. And also, Chris Evans jumped to his defense as well. Yeah, America's ass jumped in on the conversation and defended him. He said, yeah, Johnson can be late due to his morning workouts. Ciao. I'm sure you can miss a day without doing a sit-up. But I understand he's got to maintain a certain image. That's why I was like, you know what? Shout out to Dave Bautista. Because Dave Bautista is like, you know what? I'm tired of having to look like, this big muscular lump of log. I want to lose all this weight. And people started clowning him over it. And it's like, you know what? He has lost a lot of weight. He's a lot smaller, but he wants to be taken serious as an actor, and no shade. But when we look at people, depending on like in that wheelhouse of like a Dwayne Johnson, a John Cena, and a Dave Bautista, in my opinion, has been the one who has really proven himself to be a serious actor, or taking it seriously, and doesn't just sit up in here and get paid millions of dollars playing the same damn role over and over in every damn movie like Dwayne Johnson does. Dwayne ain't up there acting. He basically just playing his damn self on camera. At least Dave Bautista challenges himself. So if he wants to sit and lose all that weight because he doesn't want to be seen like this big old giant and have to spend all of his days and nights in the damn gym to maintain a certain physique, then kudos to him. So they said, but this is something that the producers, the director, and it's all his team, so they all know this. It's not like he's late unexpectedly, and I wouldn't even call it late. He comes in slightly later on certain mornings, but it's part of the plan. I've worked into the schedules, and everyone knows it, so he shows up when he's scheduled to show up. This is what Chris Evans had to say. He said, in terms of the guy that I saw, compared to some of the things that I've seen on other movies with other actors who are not only not conscious of other people's time and efforts, but they're unpredictable. I found Dwayne to be, well, we all know exactly what he's going to do when he's going to do it. So basically, sure, The Rock is late, but that's okay because everybody knows he's going to be late. Others might point out, however, that being late to a film set can result in hundreds of other people waiting around. So it's kind of not cool, even if people expect you to do it, and even if other actors are worse about it, and even if you make a point of saying hello to the script supervisor. So, and there's another thing too. So they're pretty much defending him and saying that, well, he's showing up late, but we know when he's going to be coming in late because he's got a lot of things going on. So we basically just work each scene that he's going to be in around the schedule. But how is that when, if you're number one on the call sheet and you're pretty much supposed to be in every aspect of the film, like if you're throughout the whole movie, like how do you make that work? I can understand if you weren't necessarily number one on the call sheet and then you had other things going on where you can have other people that are on set that are filming their stuff that you don't have to be put in those sequences, but so they just revolve everything around him. I just don't understand. Like, to me, I feel like with any actor, if you are committed to shooting a film for 3 months, that needs to be your number one priority. I understand that you have a million other things going on that, is a part of your brand or whatever the case is, but this is why you got to have other people that handle all of that and make sure they know what they're doing so I can fully concentrate on delivering the performance I need to deliver for these movies and not be so focused on I got a million other things going on outside of there. When you're making a movie, your full commitment should be to that film. So I get that y'all sit up here trying to defend or whatever, but that's that typical Hollywood BS that y'all just wanting to throw around. I'm not saying like, okay, so, I'll go by what y'all saying, where it's like you want to defend him and stuff. But to me, as an outsider looking in or somebody who's been on sets, it's like, no, you need to focus on this movie and not be focusing on everything else that's going on outside of that. And so they said still the overall pushback to the accusations was Johnson is otherwise very polite, generous, and professional towards the crew. As for peeing in bottles on the set to save some time during filming, he says, yeah, that happens. Unfortunately, the actor wasn't asked to elaborate. But why would you need to elaborate on peeing in a bottle? And my thing is like, well, I guess maybe it's because it's like, okay, you peeing in a bottle, but who's discarding that? Obviously, it's got to be the assistant, because there ain't no way in hell. Well, me personally, I just discard my own pee. I ain't got no time for people to be touched by stuff. But y'all in Hollywood, a lot of them are lazy. A lot of them just make everybody be their slave or whatever the case is. I mean, yeah, they getting paid to do it. But at the same time, it's like, that's gross. But I can understand you trying to kill time because you're shooting. But it's like, okay, I'm going to pee in a bottle, but bitch, don't touch me, because you literally was touching your dick and you probably got urine on your hand. Where is the sanitizer? So that's where my head will be at. But he's got a bunch of movies coming out. So, you know, in addition to Red One, he's got Moana 2, which I think is coming out this month. He's also filming a live-action version of Moana, and he also recently finished shooting a new drama called The Smashing Machine, and Disney announced he's going to star in a film called Monster Jam. So, Dwayne about to be busy. But I wonder what other people got to say about him in regards to this. But yeah, that to be particularly, that's disgusting. Like, you out here pissing in bottles and stuff. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you think that, you know, even though they said what they said, that still excuses his behavior? It's like, oh yeah, we work around it, we plan, like, oh, he's gonna be late on these days because he's got his workouts. I mean, we hear people who do that all the time. They're like, well, I know my call time is a certain time. Like, look at Mark Wahlberg, and you know, I don't particularly care for him. Now, talk about bad actors, he's another one of them. He has a specific routine that he does when he gets up at a certain time to work out. And if you're number one on the call sheet and your call time is 7 a.m., then I'm gonna get up at a specific time, or I'm gonna have, you know, so that way I get my workout in and then head to the, you know, the studio. Or what I would do is, since you are a major movie star, why don't you have a gym on the set? So it's like, okay, so I have a little setup in the lot where I work out. I got my own gymnasium, because they do have them specifically for certain celebrities. I get my workout in. I'll take my shower, a little meditation, have my breakfast, and then I'm on the set. Make it work. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Chill. Hold on. that wouldn't be an issue for golden shower lovers. Okay. You said, wasn't Bruce starting to show signs around the time the first, I believe, look, for I think a while, he and I met Bruce Willis twice. I met him on at the premiere of Live Free or Die Hard at Radio City. And I also met him when I worked at the circus. He was in my section. He was about to go get some concession. He was with his latest wife and their child. I think it was his daughter. Yeah, his daughter. He was going to go to the concession stand. And I actually told Jose, shout out to him, I was like, wait, tell that guy to tell him to wait. I didn't even recognize it was Bruce Willis. And so he was like, just wait a second, because there was like some thing going on in the circus. And we just like, hold it. But then come to find out later on, we were told, just let the people go and do what they got to do. Don't try to hold them back. So then he sat, and I'm looking at him like, wait a minute, I think that's Bruce Willis. And I went and I told one of my coworkers that was standing next to me who it was, and he turned beet red. And all of a sudden, the thing that irritates me, and I always tell this story, is that I recognized that it was him. Then the word got around that it was him. And then everybody wanted to get a picture. And he took photos. He took a big group photo. He took pictures with a lot of people. So he's a nice guy. And I think that the signs were definitely telling around that time. I just didn't pick it up. But I think the signs was going on for around that time. So I do agree. I think maybe even around the John Wick part, you know, first film, that the signs were there for the frontal temporal aphasia and dementia. I think he has the same thing that Wendy Williams has. So so yeah, he really is the Lauryn Hill of acting. Okay. Yeah, because did y'all see that that meme? Somebody sent this, I think it was Cleveland, where it was like Lauryn Hill showed up yesterday, and I posted it on my thing to vote for Kamala Harris. 500 million has to make the chair, and it's not going to make it. So consider it a flop. And that's the problem with Hollywood. They have been crazy with the budgets. They've been overspending. A movie should not be $200-something million. I had heard a story that they were saying that, and they debunked it, that the new Mission Impossible movie, Final Reckoning, was $400 million. I was like, what? But that was on Twitter. So, you can't believe everything that you see on Elon Musk, that no man's land that he got over there. And I'm not surprised Rotten Tomatoes basically said it's 32%. It doesn't look like, I just wasn't impressed. Oh, you said Red Notice is the one with Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. Okay. He acting like a diva. I'm a diva. Hey, I'm a diva. These Hollywood overblown budgets is because they keep hiring overpaid actors and make it have star power. But here's the reality. And the funny thing in you saying that is like, I do agree. We need a good damn script. You thinking that movie star, this is like the equivalent of the Democrats continuing to lose because y'all haven't realized that the old way y'all do things doesn't exist anymore. The movie star no longer exists. Now it's all about, is the script good? Is the movie entertaining? We don't really have movie stars. I mean, every now and again we get one that pop out. I think like Zendaya, I would consider her a movie star. I would consider, well, I don't know about Tom Holland. People still say, regardless of what he's in, they just think that he'll always be Spider-Man. Tom Cruise, in my opinion, is the last standing movie star. I mean, we got Will Smith, we got all these other people, but I feel like those in that vein, they're like the last movie stars. We don't have those anymore. So when y'all thinking that, oh, I'm going to just stick Dwayne Johnson on a marquee thing and the movie's automatically going to become a hit because Dwayne Johnson's in it. And it's like, his last couple of movies didn't do that well. Y'all said the same thing about Black Adam, and that movie flopped at the box office. So if this movie bombs, y'all in danger, girl. But I'm sure Moana will do well, Moana 2, and in the live action Moana, people go and want to see that because it has an attachment to the animated film. Now, child, let's get into the people's sexiest man alive, because apparently who's on the list? None other than Benny Blanco, and the people was up in here being shady in regards of, I was like, wait, where is the, well, I don't have it. I thought I had, hold on. I must have closed it or something. Oh, no, I didn't. I pushed it far over somewhere else. I was like, wait, where's my photo? I thought I lost it. But anyway, here it is. So apparently he is not on the cover. We won't find that out until later, but I heard a rumor of who it might be, and we'll talk about it in a second. So yeah, that's Benny Blanco. And that's Selena Gomez's man. But the people out here was like, when they found out that he is on the allegedly on the Sexiest Man Alive list, people was gagging. So, but then I don't think it's fake, because Selena Gomez actually went on social media and praised the fact that her man is in the issue, which, as I said earlier, is about to be revealed later on today. I think it's supposed to be during one of the the talk shows. So the Grammy-nominated producer, who's 36, happily discussed his secrets to success in life and love. Do you believe in life after love? And dished on his romantic mornings with the actress 32 in the article. He also showed off his style in an accompanying photo shoot where he rocked a number of groovy silk ensembles. I was just trying to be fancy. And displayed his red pedicure. He also, Blanco will be included among a number of hunks in People's upcoming issue. This year's Sexiest Man Alive cover star, chosen based on their physical attractiveness, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and cultural impact, will be announced on November 12th, which is today, but like I told her, it's going to get announced later on tonight. Now, after it was revealed that he would be a part of the issue, fans had a mixed response. Some applauded the decision, writing, yes, he's redefining sexy with the humor and style. Well, I guess that's how some people will look at it. So yeah, I was like, okay, thank you. Then he goes with Miss Selena. And then they also went on to say, can't argue with that choice. He's got the talent and the charm to match. This is what another fan wrote. And people still wonder why Selena chose him. He seems like a great guy, another noted. He's so charming. We get it, Selena. He radiates kindness and warmth. It's a joy to see him and Selena supporting one another. They both truly deserve love, happiness, and everything wonderful life has to offer. So those are the positives, because, we try to be equal. We try to give a little equality up on this show. However, comma, you know, we gotta give the yin with the yang. You know, they can't exist without the other. So we gotta give a little shade up in here too. So what the people said, the ones that was being negative. They said Selena paid for this. This one person wrote with 3 crying emojis. Benny Blanco, another person said, Benny Blanco and Sexiest Man Alive should never be in the same sentence. Someone else chimed in. Another person said, Benny Blanco is people's sexiest man alive. I need 2024 to be over right now. Probably because, look, not only because of the idiot president we got coming up, 47, but you got to deal with this too. Another person said, the jump scare I had thinking Benny Blanco was the official sexiest man alive. Another added. Another person said he might be a nice person, but is he really one of the sexiest men alive? What is happening here? Another person said, did they throw a dart blindfolded to pick? Y'all are just messy. Another person said, let's be for real for a damn second. Someone else wrote, while another commenter added, throw the whole list away. Well, first of all, y'all don't even know who else is on the list, because the list, as far as I know, didn't come out yet. But I've heard some things was leaking. But, you know, he also talked about, you know, his relationship with Selena and stuff. And you know what? I love the fact, you know, I love him for her. I love them for each other. I had another picture of them in the kitchen, but I don't know. When I was putting this article together, it was annoying me because, like, the photos wasn't really doing what needed to be done. So I was just like, whatever. So, yeah. But here's the thing. Let's address the situation for a second. Now, you know, I always like to say beauty is like art. Beauty is subjective. What you feel is someone's trash is someone else's treasure. Selena Gomez sees something in him that exudes a type of sexiness. They didn't say the hottest man alive. They said sexiest. He exudes in some, you know, some circles, I guess. I've never been around Benny Blanco, so I don't know what his energy gives. But he exudes some type of sexiness. And sexy doesn't necessarily mean that you got to look like Brad Damn Pitt. So whatever preference or type of man features that you into. Because there's some people out here that don't think Brad Pitt's attractive. There's some people out here that don't think I'm trying to think of like who it could be considered, you know, Henry Cavill. Like there's some people that look at Henry Cavill and they be like, he ain't all that. I've heard so many people talk about, you know, when people find Pedro Pascal sexy, they're like, he ain't all that. He ain't cute. What y'all looking at? I don't see the appeal. I see the comments. So, me personally, Pedro Pascal could sit on my damn face and take away my damn oxygen. Like, I find him extremely sexy. It's just something about the way he carries. It's the energy and just how engaging he is, and like the eyes, and it's just something about him. You know, I love people who are confident, people who just walk in their own sexiness, but not too cocky about it. It's just something about when you look at certain men, and it's like they got that thing. There's people even out here where it's like Barry Keoghan. I'm sure he's up in there too, and people gonna have their feelings about him being up in there because that was the rumor as well. There's some people that look at Barry Keoghan and they see the sexiness. I mean, clearly Sabrina Carpenter does because that's her man. And then there's some people that look at him and is like, I don't get the appeal. He looks weird in the face, and I'm all for people who aren't necessarily conventionally attractive. You can always find something sexy and appealing in people that don't have the typical conventional beauty that society says that this is what you're supposed to define as sexy. This is what you're supposed to define as attractive, or whatever the case is. But to wrap this whole story up, here's the person that they said is going to be People Magazine's sexiest man alive. Glenn Powell. His fine ass. Glenn Powell right now is filming The Running Man, the remake film, which originally starred Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. So the rumor is going around, because I've seen it floating around, that it actually is going to be Glenn Powell. And I could definitely see why, if it turns out to be him, that he would be the choice, simply because his career is on the rise. He got a stamp of approval from Tom Cruise. Take that as you will. And lately, he has definitely been proven, especially Twisters. People, you know, say what you want about Twisters or whatever. Like, they feel like it was basically a Xerox copy of the original film with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, who, may he rest in peace. He was like another one of my favorite actors growing up in the 80s. But, you know, having Glenn Powell in that film, they felt like it was a worthy sequel. And he did a phenomenal job. Like, he's very much charming. He's from Texas. So, you know, there's that. And he kind of reminds me of a modern, like this generation's modern day Matthew McConaughey. So he gives me Matthew McConaughey tease. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think that they are doing a big old reach in regards to Benny Blanco being part of the whole sexiest man alive situation? And do you think that, well, you can let me know what you feel in regards of like, how do you define sexy? That would be a good question to ask instead of, you know, people over here being shady, talking about people looks and things of that nature. It's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and so is, you know, the exuding of sexiness. So let me know what you guys think in this. And also, what do you think if Glenn Powell does turn out to be, by the time this is over, and then they reveal it later on, Glenn Powell being the People magazine's choice for sexiest man alive? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. They'll just let anyone with light or pale skin as sexy. You said they better put that page all the way in the back. And you said they know damn well this is a bold-faced lie. Child. Yeah, I was looking at Benny Blanco. I'm like, child, where y'all find that man at? I thought Michelle Obama would have once said, we're not doing that. She must have paid the magazine. She's a billionaire. Well, well, look, he ain't on the cover. So let's go with that. At least, you know, he's a part of it. Like, he in the page somewhere, probably like you said, all the way in the back. He could exude it behind closed doors. Sabrina sees that pain. Oh, yeah, because we all saw that pain in Saltburn. So that's what I was like, she wanted to dig her back out. Need to sniff Glenn Powell's fuzzy bus. Oh, you know it's hairy back there. Or a little peach fuzz. With all the actors and singers and comedians being exposed, Hollywood has changed. Wait, what happened? Oh, are you talking about with Diddy and Harvey Weinstein and all of that? Well, you said Josh Hartnett, you want him on the cover? Wasn't Josh Hartnett on the cover way back in the day, or was that just Teen Beat and those type of magazines? Remember Maxim? Yeah, back in the day, we had some good magazines with stuff up in there. Well, Maxim was like for the dudes that like women and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Wait, are you saying that you want Josh Hartnett on the cover, or is Josh Hartnett on the cover? Because, yeah, like I've been saying, I've been hearing that it's Glenn Powell, but if it's not, then we'll find out later on who it is. All right, so, oh my God, did I forget? Yes, I did. I literally thought I came up in here and made the damn banner for our next topic. Apparently, I did not. So please hold while I create her. So I was like, wait a minute now. Okay, so now let's get into our next topic. And let's talk about Miss Keke Palmer, who we're starting to find out a little more tea that she's been spilling from her upcoming memoir. I think this is her second memoir, by the way. So Keke Palmer recently spoke to LA Times about her upcoming memoir, Master of Me, The Secret of Controlling Your Narrative, which includes one story that alleges that Ryan Murphy, there's two stories actually. Ryan Murphy ripped into her for, I guess, taking a day off. And then there was another one who made another actor on set who made racist comments towards her. So the Emmy Award-winning star is set to release a memoir titled Master of Me, The Secret of Controlling Your Narrative, which recalls the incident with Murphy. Now, according to the LA Times, Palmer writes in her memoir, she was given the shooting schedule for Scream Queens and arranged to do something on her day off. However, on the day she took off, production told her she had to be on set, but when Palmer didn't oblige to fulfill her prior obligations, things got heated. Now, Palmer wrote in her memoir that she received a call from Murphy in which he ripped into her, with the actor adding, "It was kind of like I was in the dean's office. He was like, I've never seen you behave like this. I can't believe that you, out of all people, would do something like this." Well, hold up. Now, why would you automatically put all that off on her? Like, oh, yeah, well, I guess maybe the way that she carried herself and all that other stuff, that he was like, I'm surprised that you would pull this diva move. I guess, according to him, he considered that's what that was. So although Palmer apologized and cleared things up with Murphy, one of her co-stars had a different take on the situation when she returned to set. I said, Ryan talked to me and I guess he's cool. It's fine. And she was like, it's bad, trying to make me scared or something, which was a little irritating. Palmer wrote, working with Murphy, Palmer had hoped to be one of his frequent collaborators like Sarah Paulson and Emma Roberts, but due to the incident, she felt like things soured. She said, I'm still not sure Ryan cared or got it, and that's okay because he was just centering his business, which isn't a problem to me, she wrote. But what I do know is even if he didn't care, or even if I never work with him again, he knows that I too see myself as a business. So then, so for those of you who aren't familiar, Scream Queens was a series that appeared or was on Fox. I think it lasted like, what, 2 seasons? And Keke played the role of Zayde Williams. And speaking of Glenn Powell, he was on that show. He was on there. Wasn't Nick Jonas on there too? So they also had Emma Roberts, Skylar Samuels, Abigail Breslin, Nassim Pedrad, Billy Lord, and Jamie Lee Curtis. So there was a lot of people that was on that show at the time. But here's the thing. Now, here's where it gets juicy. So now, in addition to the incident with Murphy, Palmer also recalled the moment with one of her white co-stars, whom she calls Brenda in the book, and who made a racist remark. Now, Palmer said Brenda was upset after clashing with a colleague. To try to make things easy, Palmer suggested they have fun and respect each other, to which her co-star told her, Keke, literally, just don't. Who do you think you are, Martin fucking Luther King? Now, she said that Brenda is not named because Palmer didn't want to make a moment out of her and take power out of her words, noting it was such a weighted thing that she said, but I didn't allow that weight to be projected on me because I know who I am. I'm not no victim. That's not my storyline, sweetie. I don't care what her ass said. I will allow what she said. She said, if I allow what she said to cripple me, then she would. Well, child, I would have channeled my inner Sutton Strike and be like, name them. So, of course, when that story came out, you know, the sleuths got the sleuthing and people started debating. Some believe that it was Emma Roberts because we have heard over the years that Emma Roberts kind of been a little bitchy and problematic on set. However, I don't know if people were familiar or remember, but Lea Michele was actually on Scream Queens as well. And if we could take a trip back down memory lane, wasn't Lea Michele kind of looked upon as somebody who was problematic on sets? There was some black girl, I can't remember her name, but she said she worked on the set of, I think she was on the set of Glee or something or another, and said that Lea Michele was mean to her behind the scenes, and at one point threatened to shit in her wig. These are her words, allegedly, from this girl who called out Lea Michele. So it could be one or the other. I don't know. At this point, if I was a judge, it would be inconclusive. That, okay, so who exactly it is that we're talking about? Because when you look upon it, it's like it could be Emma Roberts and it could be Lea Michele. I haven't really heard Emma Roberts being a nuisance behind the scenes, so I could be wrong on that, but I'm kind of teetering more towards Lea Michele. Because remember, at one point, she was a grade A biatch when she was on set. So I will say, so what I have to say on this is I'm definitely excited to check out Keke's upcoming book. It sounds like it got some juicy stuff in it. I need a little bit more besides her talking about her time on Scream Queens, and I'm really hoping, well, I guess maybe she's spilling tea because she feels like Ryan Murphy won't ever work with her ever again. So after that, yeah, she hasn't really done anything with Ryan Murphy after Scream Queens, after that little incident. But I do wonder, it's like, okay, so, but have other people been nightmares and nuisances on set and you've kind of given them another chance and allowed them to come work for you in other situations? But this little black girl who y'all, you know, whenever when we said like yesterday, when we're talking about Kamala Harris, it's like, y'all get to run around and just be messy and y'all can do whatever y'all want. But black folks or people of color in general always have to go the extra mile to pursue greatness or to be great and perfect. We always have to, we can't fuck up, we can't mess up, we can't do anything out of order because quiet as it's kept, it ain't a lot of roles for people of color anyway on sets. Still out here fighting to get equal parts and equal pay and all this other mess in movies. And so for Keke to know her worth and to say what she and did what she did. And it's like, yeah, I apologize, but now you treating me like I'm a pariah because I had something to do in my spare time. And this was my day off. But now you tell me I got to show up to set. And I'm glad she squashed it. But the exuding of greatness is always the irritation for me. So I say all this to say, what do you think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. He said on the cover. Oh, okay. And he said, if he's the sexiest man alive, the world needs glasses. Stephen King is banned for life on Twitter for saying Elon Musk is the first lady of the White House. And, well, I mean, that's obviously. Wait, she's staying in New York? Well, here's the thing. A lot of people feel like, yeah, Melania is not going to participate in this. And first of all, how is this allowed? How is it that Donald Trump was able to run without his wife actually, nobody questions it. She gets to just do whatever because she doesn't want to deal with the White House stuff. So she doesn't get to be, he gets to go for his aspiration. She just tolerates and puts up with it. But I don't think Stephen King even cares. I mean, hello, there's Threads. There's so many other platforms. Fuck Elon Musk. So, yeah, she's... I didn't even know they were still in New York. I thought they was in Florida. So, wait a minute. All this time, she wasn't even at Mar-a-Lago when he be out there? Well, you said it's Emma Roberts. But, so it could be either or. Now, why she using MLK as a slur? Okay? It's like, yeah, why are you running around here using Martin Luther King as a slur? Because this is how them crackers are. That's their only point of reference. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about my girl Britney, who it looked like there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Look, we were talking about earlier, actually yesterday, that Jaden came to visit her at the house. Probably because his days is numbered in regards to that child support. So now he's trying to grease mama's palms so he can still get a little coin out of her, even though that, she got 3 more days left until she's officially done paying child support. I was like, where is the thing, honey? Okay, I got it. Okay, so it says the pop star who's 42 has been making bi-weekly payments of $10,000 to the former backup dancer who's 46 and will wire her final check at the end of the week, sources told TMZ on Tuesday. Well, damn, y'all all up in her business. But then we wouldn't have nothing to talk about, so we're going to keep going. So it said at one point, Federline had been getting $40,000 a month from Spears because their 2 kids lived with him full-time in Hawaii, but they netted on $20,000 after their eldest son, Sean Preston, turned 18 last year. The exes who divorced in 2007 also share son Jaden James, whose 18th birthday was in September. Federline's longtime lawyer Mark Vincent Kaplan explained to People that month that child support for Jaden would continue until November when he finished high school. Now, under California law, child support jurisdiction continues until the minor child reaches the age of 18, if upon their 18th birthday, they have not yet graduated high school. It continues until they graduate high school, but in no event later than their 19th birthday, the family law attorney told the outlet. The child support in this case for Jaden is being paid consistent with the law. His graduation for high school will be in November. That's weird. They graduate in November. Mostly, well, I guess, us in the United States of America, even though, hold on, Hawaii is a part of the United States, but they graduate in November? I wonder how their whole school situation works. Because for us, graduation for kids is in like June. For college kids is a month earlier in May. Now, they said prior to Spears ceasing child support payments, Jaden met up with his mom in Los Angeles after moving to Hawaii with his dad and brother in August of 2023. An insider told Page 6 exclusively on Monday that the teen and the Gimme More singer had been spending a lot of time together. A second source added, Britney is thrilled to have her baby back. My baby back, baby back, baby back. Everything is moving in the right direction. The reconciliation comes after years of estrangement between Spears and her 2 sons. Now, in September of 2022, Jaden opened up about their fallout, telling ITV, I think mom has struggled giving us both attention and showing us equal love. I don't think she's shown enough to Preston, and I feel really bad for that. We've both been through so much pressure in the past that this is our safe space now to process all the emotional trauma we've been through to heal our mental state. So people have to realize, you know what? You know, at first, I remember when I first started hearing about them and I would kind of thumb my nose at them and whatever, but it's like, you know what? Their kids being honest and open about how the things that Britney has done has affected them as kids, and the fact that you're one feeling that he doesn't, the oldest, Preston, feeling like he's not getting a good amount of love from their mother, that maybe she was giving too much love to Jaden. She had a lot of other things going on. Plus, there was the conservatorship. So there was a lot of things that was going on in, you know, with her mental health and things of that nature, and the things her father was doing to her, according to what she said in the book. So there was a lot going on. And I feel like, you know what? The fact that they're working, well, I don't know about Preston, but I know about her and Jaden. The fact of the matter is that they've come together and hopefully they're working on healing their relationship as mother and son. And hopefully the oldest will come around. You know, all the money and stuff aside, once she could stop paying that damn child support, and then she could really take the time to really get to know her kids. And I really hope that her sons, I guess we could say, are willing to make it work with her as their mother versus, you know, I only am using you for, oh, well, because the child support payments are about to dry up. So if the child support payments and stuff about to dry up, then that's not something that's the only reason why I want to rekindle my relationship with my mother. I don't want to be cynical in that way, and I hope that's not what they're trying to do. But, you know, I love the fact that he said that they've both been through so much pressure in the past, and this is our safe space to process all the emotional trauma we've been through to heal our mental state. And the fact that somebody so young has come to that conclusion, I think that's a good thing. So I want to see if there's anything left to the article. So they basically said that he added that at the time that it was going to take a lot of time and effort, and that he just wanted his mother to get better mentally. Now, Spears reacted via social media by saying she was deeply saddened by her son's comments and hoped they could work things out in person. Well, I could understand that she would say that she was deeply saddened, and that's probably because you took this to the press rather than sitting down and having this conversation with me, mother to son. But you get in an interview and you revealing this, that to me is like, that's giving people ammo to know, like, okay, what is her mental state and all this other stuff. I mean, I guess we do know the mental state when we see her with them raccoon eyes twirling in the foyer with them brown shoes and them Gerber baby panties. But besides that, I do agree that, you know what, there's certain personal things that if there is a way that you can go and have the conversation with your mother in private and things, you can work things out that way, that's great. But if he's at a point where I've tried to work things out with you in private and you pretty much haven't given reason to want to go there with me and to comply and actually want to build a relationship. So the only way I can get your attention is to go through the media. Sometimes people feel like that when it comes to the kids, how they feel when it comes to their parents. If you have a narcissistic, mommy dearest ass type of parent, I'm not saying that that's the type of parent Britney is, but I'm just saying that sometimes the only way that some kids can get the attention of their parents, they got to go to the media. So I say all to say, what do y'all think of this story? I'm actually hoping that Britney and her kids are able to work things out and form a real legitimate relationship now that, you know, they're old enough to understand. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. He said Leah for sure. So we got people saying it's Leah Michelle. Some people saying it's Emma Roberts. I don't know. I just feel in my gut it might be Leah Michelle. It's that Kevin probably doing Florida Evans cry of damn. Okay. But I hope he's saving that coin. But they did say his wife, the reason why they moved to Florida is because, what is it? Like, she's a coach, a cheerleading coach or something like that. She wound up getting a job at a university. So She's bringing in the bacon. I don't know what he doing. Is Mr. Popo's out here DJing still? You better find something to do instead of collecting them checks. Kevin, go see her and get close to her so she can continue giving her son money so he can give it to daddy. Okay? Because that's what everybody thinking, like Kevin's a user. Okay, how many more topics we got? We got 4 more topics, and we are done with today's show. So before we get to the final 4 topics, the show's moving by relatively quick today. Excuse me. So before we get to the final 4 topics, if you could do me a solid, hit that like button if you have not already, and also please subscribe because I'm trying to hit 2K. I know it's like the numbers is moving a little slow. I'm trying to get over 2K hump. So by the end of the month, or maybe by the end of the week. So hit that notification button, the subscribe button, the like button, all that good stuff. It helps with the algorithm. Okay, so we got some gay news and some trans news, but let's get into this Caitlyn Jenner story. So hold on. Yeah, let's get into this Caitlyn Jenner story because this is a messy one. So Charlamagne the God was over on the Breakfast Club, and he gave Caitlyn the donkey of the day. And he basically said, I'm going to call her Bruce. That I'm calling her by her male pronouns. Because, and here's the thing. This is why I say, like, you know what? I'm in no way tired about this situation because I pretty much said the same thing that Charlamagne said in his donkey of the day a couple of episodes ago when I was talking about this heifer. But she told me that she's not a trans ally. I specifically said, the way she moves, yeah, you may identify as trans and you may have changed your whole gender after you after you murdered, allegedly, somebody with that car. So you may give trans woman tease, but you move like a white man. A lot of the stuff that she does is like a white male. The white male privilege is showing through your transness. And I don't think it's wrong to say that. The way she moves is still, while you on the exterior is giving woman, in the words of Al You Doing Reynolds, but you move like a white man still. And I stand on that. So people feel it's transgender, go argue with your mammy. So according to the Daily Beast, they said that Jenner publicly, as we know, she came out as trans in 2015, and despite Trump's consistent threats against trans rights, he's been one of the former president's most vocal supporters. That, Charlamagne said Monday, has earned her the target of his weekly roasting segment, which I said was he gave her donkey of the day. He said, it is one thing this election taught me. If it's one thing, because that F looked like a T. Maybe my eyes is all messed up. But anyway, he said, if it's one thing this election taught me is people really do vote their interest. And their interest is not attached to their identity. And I must say, it is fascinating to me. And this is what he said, pointing not only to Jenner's support of Trump, but also the large swath of Latino voters he won over despite promising mass deportations, which he said he's going to do on day one. He got a lot to do on his first day, apparently. I just find it fascinating, he continued, and that is also how I feel about Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is trans, but she is a huge Donald Trump supporter. This past week, Jenner posted a video of herself on Twitter with Trump and Elon Musk and wrote that they single-handedly saved Western civilization and that she is here at their service, grifting for a damn job. That's what she's doing. Saying, hope is back in America. These two men will single-handedly save Western civilization, and that starts with a strong United States of America. I'm here at your service and forever indebted to your sacrifice for this country. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Sacrifice? You're talking about Mr. Bone Spurs, who is a draft dodger? Sacrificing for the country? You people are crazy. Talking about let's make America great again. And this is what this bitch wrote back on November 6th. Now, some publications interpreted the statement as an offer to serve in Trump's administration. Didn't I just say he was grifted for a damn job? But Jenna clarified on Twitter that the take was misleading and my stance remains unchanged as entirely supportive of the president since 2015, emphasizing a commitment to serve if called upon. Well, he not calling you, just like he ain't calling Nikki Haley. That heifer was out here backpedaling, pussy popping for that fool, and he basically told her he ain't giving her ass a job. But apparently he's about to make Marco Rubio the Secretary of State. Where they do that at? Now, Charlamagne basically wasn't buying it. He said, sounds to me like Caitlyn wants his next gender reassignment surgery sponsored by SpaceX. This is what he said, using male pronouns for gender. He wants his testicles replaced for Teslas. He wants to have the Tesla of vaginas, just put it on autopilot and it plays with itself. Charlamagne also took issue with another one of Jenner's posts from the weekend where she said she can no longer in good faith hold on to her Glamour Magazine Woman of the Year award since it has become clear in speaking with many families, men and women, the distraught nature of acceptance of the award still brings them today. Well, here's the thing. First of all, nobody asked Glamour Magazine to get that bitch anything, let alone she wasn't even a full woman for 24 damn hours, and they was running around just giving any old cracker the damn prestigious award. Talking about Woman of the Year. The bitch she ain't even take enough hormones and get shot in her ass to get rid of that 5 o'clock shadow for her to even be considered a woman. But here y'all go giving out, Woman of the Year titles like Oprah giving away motherfucking cars on her show. Like, get the hell out of here with that. I even side-eyed that shit. And I live in the trans community, but when y'all did that to her, I'm like, for why? What the hell this bitch do to acquire anything notable, let alone a Woman of the Year award, and sit there and talk about that, people were distraught by it or disgusted. To me, you give me sad, self-hating, pick-me tease. There's still a shame behind the fact that you can't be your true, authentic self in this world. But of course, you coming from privilege and you being, having your money, I feel like you still haven't healed from a lot of the traumas that you had to deal with growing up. You had the money and the access to go and transition to look like a poor man's Jessica Lange. A Dollar Tree Jessica Lange, I should probably say. Since Dollar Tree out here supporting Trump too. So, when you're going over here doing that, what do we expect? And first of all, I never looked at that bitch as an ally. I look at you like an ally, like I look at Candace Owens being an ally for the Black community. You are basically a trans version of a coon. That's what you are. We don't know. All skin folk ain't kin folk. And so when Charlamagne out here saying I'm a misgender bitch, I feel the same goddamn way. All skin folk ain't kin folk. So no, we're not being treated equally. When you step out of line and you try to come and create a situation where it's going to be harm and detrimental to the community, then bitch, you are your former gender. Fuck all that. Like I told y'all before, when they go low, I go to the Earth's crust. I'm going to the outskirts of hell. I don't do that when they go low, we go high shit. Say that for Michelle Obama and them arms. I'm not doing that. Not over here. Everybody don't get the equal treatment. So when you come out your face, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to read you down to the ground until you run away in tears. You're not getting the grace and all that. When you can't have the right to misgender, fuck out of here. Go suck the shit out my ass with a straw. That's what y'all could do. Let me sip my water. Because this bitch pisses me off. And the fact that she came out here and talking about she ain't an ally and all this other mess, but y'all still will windmill for, we have to be accepting of all. Well, the bitch don't accept y'all, and she trans. So at what point y'all gonna wake up and stop playing these little kids table games and get down in the mud with these people? Because I scrap. I'm not like these other people where it's just like, oh well, I'm just gonna we have to take the higher road, and it's like fuck out of here with all that. That's how I feel. And she still look like a fucking man in a dress. And I said what the fuck I said. But here's the thing. When I laughed, I side-eyed this because apparently Jess Hilarious man-looking ass is back on the show. So this bitch had the nerve to sit up here and say, oh, well, it's okay for you to say it. Because her deep-ass voice. Oh, it's okay for you to sit up here and say it. But I say something about the trans because we know what your intent is behind when you speak on trans issues. We saw that whole video that you did on TikTok when there was that opportunistic they, them, whatever the hell that fool was. Because look, not everybody has the best interest when it comes to situations of talking about the LGBTQIA plus community. There's grifters on all sides. And this them bitch got up on social media and started yapping about some mess regarding women, trans and periods, and don't have authority over this, that, and the other. I'm like, first of all, last time I checked, the only ones that was menstruating and can have children are gender, women who are assigned female at birth. So that whole gatekeeping and all other mess, and when she started talking about that, a lot of that was rooted in a lot of transphobic narrative. That's why people was dragging your man looking ass on social media, and the fact of the matter, and why T.S. Madison went in and dragged you down to the floor with reading your unfunny ass, because of the stuff that you was rooting your commentary in. It was rooted in transphobic rhetoric. The difference between that and what Charlamagne is saying, he's calling her out on her hypocrisy. Almost stuttered on the damn word. He's calling her out on her hypocrisy. It's the fact that you identify as a trans woman, but you sit out here backpedaling, trying to lick the crack of Trump's wide stink ass, because allegedly he wear Pampers, and trying to kiss these people behind over there on the Republican Party because you're trying to grift for a damn job, and you're willing to throw your own people under the bus in order to incorporate that. Because remember, you was all for the trans when you had that tight ass reality show nobody was watching. And now the reality show ain't around no more. Now you want to all of a sudden be the Candace Owens of the trans community. So fuck her or fuck him, as I said before. Because basically, Caitlyn, you ain't nothing. Sorry, Lady Bruce, you ain't nothing but a man in a fucking dress. And I'll be forever, until you straighten up and fly right, referring to you as your male pronouns. And if people got a problem with it, you can unfollow me and you can go somewhere else and kiss my ass. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you feel that Charlamagne is justified in saying what he said in regards of Caitlyn and referring to her with her male pronouns, because she's out here grifting for the very people that want to do harm to the trans community that she's supposed to be, or they, them, him, whatever, is supposed to be the fuck a part of? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Now, I didn't know I was going to go that hard, but child, it just came out of me. But what the people saying? Oh, you said Kevin, go see her and get close. Oh, yeah, we read that one, right? You said, ooh, Charlamagne giving original bleaching girl. She is giving you light skin Photoshop tease. Oh, wait, you said, wow, what happened? Or you said, grifting gets you nowhere in life. Who you telling? Adrian says, I think Charlamagne is right. Bruce Jenner is a clown. And that's why I say I hate when people get on their little moral high horse and be talking about, well, y'all don't have, regardless of what they say, you don't have a right to misgender. Fuck you in that comment. And I don't agree. So if you want to call somebody transphobic or whatever the case is, because you feel like regardless of how someone treats you, they deserve respect, I don't agree with that. If you're not going to respect me, you're not getting the shit back. I don't sit there and take no high road. The only time I pretty much ignore you like you don't exist if I hate your guts. But other than that, if you somebody that I'm just like, you know what, I'm in the mood to cuss your ass out, I'm going to just say what I'm going to say. And I was in the mood to cuss out Caitlyn. Or sorry, Miss Lady Bruce. That's what I'm going to start calling that bitch. I just got to get used to it. Bruce in a wig. Trainee of the year. Yeah, that bitch is still in training. You're not even a trainee. You a trainee. And so while I try to respect while I try to respect people's gender pronouns, Caitlyn's actions running on white male privilege shows them to be a man in a dress and nowhere near a woman. Absolutely. And that's why I'm glad that, you know what, because I did say that the other day. And I was kind of like trying to be hesitant because, you know, I'm really at a point where I try to be respectful and try to take the high road and all this other stuff. But I'm at a point, you know what, I'm tired of tap dancing and having a sugarcoat and, oh, I can't say certain words because I'm afraid to get canceled. And it's like, no, when it comes to certain situations, I'm going to start calling people out, and I really don't give a fuck what people think. If you want to sit and accuse me of being transphobic when people who really know me know that I'm not, it's like, no, you do not get the grace when you sit there and basically throw an entire community under the bus for your own self-interest, which is what Charlamagne was referring to. Latinos, when it comes to immigration, the fact of the matter, they get in the door and they got up in here illegally, and once they climb up that ladder, they want to burn the ladder down behind them. They don't want them other people in there, so yeah, we got to close the borders. So, I do agree that bitch gives man in the dress tease. And so I'm not going to sit up here and try to be respectful when you don't respect your own self and the people that fought hard to get the rights that they have. And there's not, you know what, and trans community only makes up like what? Less than 2%? And he said, also, you turn into a woman, go date women. We don't even know what Bruce is into sexually anyway. Like when you transition, did Bruce? I mean, well, did they start dating women? Because I think they were trying to allude to that or play into that on the reality show. But these reality shows be so damn fake. Candace Owens wants to interview Nicki Minaj, saying she sounds like she want to be white as well. First of all, Nicki Minaj will cuss her ass out. She ain't ready for Nicki. So Nicki is not. Nicki ain't ready. Like Candace ain't ready for Nicki. Nicki will read her down to the floor and have that bitch crying. Back to her, you know, her slave master husband. I'm cackling at your shade on Caitlyn. Look, sometimes, child, when I be mad, the shit that come out of my mouth, I don't remember what I had. I don't remember what I said. I already know when I probably cut this up and post it on social media, I'm probably gonna be cackling to myself. I felt the same way when people saying we shouldn't criticize Pop Mala for throwing her. She did not throw her coochie to do all of that. But it said, does Jenna have what? Who knows what Caitlyn is into? And would anybody even want to be up in that old dry puss? Dollar Tree Jessica Lange. That's exactly what she was. That said Bruce will do anything for attention, including this trans thing. He didn't like not being the center of attention from the others in the family, so needed his own spotlight. And then it was an article that I had saw. I think it was from Radar Online or one of them that was talking about that how they're trying to get back in the good graces of the Jenner clan, and basically was trying to use him to be the bridge to get them back into the good graces. And I'm sitting there like, bitch, after you threw the family under the bus and was spilling all the family secrets and the things that you were saying and doing and stuff, why would they even want to? You are nothing but an opportunist and a grifter. So I wouldn't even give you that. I wouldn't even, if I was Kim, I wouldn't even, you know, I would pay him dust. And the funny thing was, she posted something on her Instagram to I think it was like what Cleveland said, like, isn't Bruce 55? I mean 75. I think that Kim said happy 75th birthday or something or another, and people was in the comments throwing shade like, oh, you a better person than I am because the things that Bruce has done to the family and all this other stuff, why would you even bother? Bruce loves pussy. Now this is giving orthogynephilia tease. What's that mean? Now she like playing with her pussy? Allegedly. So he's trans, but is against the trans community. That's why I say I don't understand people who transition, but you hate your own community. It's like no different than those gays that are born homosexual, but sit up here and talking about they ex-gays. I'm like, get the hell out of here. And then conversion therapy and all that mess. And then, you know, it's no different than Latinos who want to be white. Black people will run out here thinking you black as the ace of spade, bleach your hair blonde, and be out here talking this mess. Like, child, do you not own a mirror? You think you Uncle Ruckus, basically? The younger version? You know, there's a specific queen. I can't remember her name. A little black child that got up on one of them shows. I think it was Fox News, and trying to talk about Beyonce need to focus on her music from flopping and stay out of politics. A whole white sissy, a whole black sissy up there with badly bleached hair, thinking she Dennis Rodman, trying to read. Even Bruce Sun don't even seem to mess with him. What about the gays that voted for Trump? Are we about to get into a couple of them? I don't feel no ways tired about their ass. Oh, they're about to get read in the next topic. Where's that at? Which is now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So, you know, there's some adult performers of the homosexual kind that have decided to reveal themselves as Trump supporters. So we'll focus on Devin Franco first. Now, he actually came out as a Trump supporter before Trump actually became president. And basically said, this was actually the day before the 2024 U.S. presidential election. So Franco, who's been making a name for himself in the industry since 2017 and got a ran through bussy chair and scored the best bottom honor at the 2021 Gavian Awards. I guess when your asshole literally looked like Arby's meat, I guess you would be considered best bottom. And this was back in 2021 where he took to Twitter just days before the election to announce to the world that he's a MAGA gay. And this is according to Pink News. So the porn star commented 100% agree in response to a post by someone named Jordan Bach, who wrote that he's a gay guy who's left the left in favor of voting for Donald Trump, claiming that Democrats have turned into a war-hungry censorship machine, cynically using identity politics and media manipulation to divide us. Really? Because I could have sworn that that's the side you are playing for that's doing all of that. But y'all been gaslit and manipulated and brainwashed so much to the point that it's like, I can't even be bothered trying to explain to the brainless. It's literally like y'all got them boar worms from Flash Gordon eating at y'all brain like RFK Jr.'s. But it didn't stop there. So Franco, whose real name is Jesse Tanner Morris, double down. Well, I can see why you change your name to some damn Devin Franco. Double down when people express disappointment in his comment section. Then when someone warned that Devin Franco was a Trump supporter and wrote that followers should take your thirst somewhere else, Franco responded by commenting, LOL, you all have become the fascists you say you're afraid of. Bye. The Twitter user asked for an example of how Kamala Harris is a fascist and asked him to comment on Project 2025's plan for pornography. Now, Project 2025, the far-right heritage Foundation's blueprint for the next Republican administration, plan to ban porn, send the producers and distributors to prison, and shut down the tech companies that circulate it. So does that mean that we're about to lose Twitter? Because if you look at Elon Musk, that no man's land, that's all over that damn place. Besides the fact of the cesspool of hatred and shade and vitriol that's all over that mess of a website. And unfortunately, I can't leave because as part of being a part of media, Twitter plays a huge part in a lot of the traffic that goes into not only this show, but my website. So I'm a slave to Twitter, unfortunately. I am on Threads, I'm on Instagram, I'm on the other places. But so that's what I'm wondering, because if you go on Twitter, there's political talk, there's a lot of misinformation, courtesy of Elon, and porn. So is Elon about to lose that? And first of all, I feel like Elon secured his situation because he was heavily behind helping getting a lot of propaganda out there to feed the beast in regards to the people who are on Twitter. So he probably did all that to make sure that what he owns is not going to be affected by this. So with them sitting over here talking about banning porn, I doubt that is going to happen. But we'll see. So they basically said that, in fact, the idea of a plan becoming a reality is so fraught that a group of adult film stars band together to create a Hands Off My Porn campaign, which has been running ads before porn videos telling users that a vote for Trump will be the death knell for easily accessible streaming pornography. Trying to do everything within your meager power to have a negative impact on my livelihood and income is how I support myself because we don't have the same opinion as fascism. This is what Franco retorted. Huh? Like you're voting against your livelihood. Like the only way you make money is bending your legs behind your head like a damn pretzel and getting your back dug out. So when they do ban porn, what the hell do you want to do? Get a job in an office? Because the quiet as it's kept, a lot of people that end up doing adult performances, they try to get a job in the regular world and they get that thrown in their face. That they're out here laying it low. Oh, you was laying it low and spreading it wide, and I seen a video and they be trying to tell on people and you end up losing your job. I don't know why it's a problem for people to assert themselves in situations that ain't got nothing to do with them. Which it should be focusing on is how we're going to get a stronger economy, how you're going to strengthen the border, how people are going to be able to live comfortably without having to live paycheck to paycheck. But instead, y'all want to focus on keeping men out of women's sports, which there aren't a lot of men in women's sports. The amount of trans people that are in sports the amount of trans people that's in sports have like less than 1%. But They know how to pull on the strings and tote the fears of these people. And the fact that you got these clueless ass pick me homosexuals jumping in this and corroborating this mess and pushing these narratives of propaganda, to me, works my root canal nerve. So then he also said, you were genuinely one of my, someone said that you were genuinely one of my faves, so this feels like an actual betrayal. This is what another fan wrote, according to Pink News. Well, that's delusional because you don't even know me. Get a grip. I have a different opinion. It's this kind of attitude that red pilled me. First of all, y'all not going to use, I'm tired of y'all using the Matrix narratives, because if y'all really knew what the Matrix was about, people like you radicalized morons, would not be using that film as a reference. The Matrix is about freedom of choice and removing yourself from the overall fascism of the world, the real world, and living in this bubble that you've been fed this lie. That's what the Matrix is about. And a lot of y'all be trying to use the Matrix to fulfill your narrative. Y'all really don't understand that movie, especially the philosophy and all the other stuff that's in it. The Matrix is one of my all-time favorite films. The first one. The other two is just, eye candy. But the first film was the explorations of spirituality and philosophy and bringing in the whole freedom fighter aspect and going against the establishment. Those are the type of movies that I love. So that's what that movie's about. And I feel like a lot of y'all just like to hear red pill and think, oh, it's so fascinating. So I'm going to just say it because it sounds fascinating, like I said. But it sounds stupid. And here's the thing. You may not like, you may want to sit and you may want to think about using the Matrix as a reference, because 2 trans people ended up directing that movie. They weren't trans at the time, but they are now. The Wachowskis, who were known back in the day as the Wachowski brothers when you watch the movie, but now it's Lana and Lily. So they basically said gay men supporting Trump are not a new phenomenon, and while it's surprising that a homosexual adult film star would vote for the Republican presidential nominee, Franco isn't the first, nor would he be the last, by the way. So porn stars Alex Grant, with him and them old tight-ass nipple piercings he be having. So Alex Grant, Big C, Hatler Gurius, Hoscato, what kind of names are these? And Ricky Larkin. Well, we know about Ricky Larkin because there's a play on Ricky Martin. Ricky Larkin have also admitted that they are voting for Trump, or have voted for him, because at this point it's over. So we have that, but now let's go into Arad Winwin, because we already talked about Devin. Devin's an idiot, and so was this one. And first of all, when I was sitting here reading his answers based off of his interview with Out Magazine, Arad Chow, I understand English is not your first language, but it was embarrassing trying to understand and decode the crap that you wrote down. My brain was hurting reading trying to make sense of what the hell you wrote. So we're going to try to work through it as I talk about it on here. So Arad, who's a 34-year-old model and former gay adult performer, is under fire for sharing social media posts in support of Donald Trump and in opposition to Kamala Harris. Like I said, you can vote for whatever the hell you want to vote for, but some of the reasons why you're voting for these people make absolutely no sense. It's like, if you had a valid reason, I'm like, you say I'm dumb, and here's why. So Arad, he's been in a lot of films. He also was a trophy boy model for Andrew Christian. I remember that from back in the day when he was a trophy boy for Andrew Christian. But it says, according to Pop Base Central, he started gay porn videos for platforms and studios such as Cocky Boys, Ducati Porn, Falcon Studios, Gay Room, Hot House, Lucas Entertainment, Male Access, Man Royale, Men.com, Naked Sword, Nasty Daddy, Nextdoor Studios, King.com, and Raw Alpha Males. Winwin also was nominated for a couple of Gay VN Awards in 2018, 2021, and 2022, as outlined on avn.com. And I think since then, he says that he doesn't make films anymore, so he's pretty much retired. Now, they said in January 2017, Cocktails and Cock Talk published an interview with Winwin titled "This Hunky Iranian Soldier Escaped His Country on Foot and Now Works as an Underwear Model." Now, Winwin, who has been working, as a trophy boy, told the LGBTQ plus blog that he went AWOL, absent without leave, during duty fighting for Iran. He also explained that he left the Iranian military service at 22 years of age and eventually immigrated to the U.S. where he still resides. Well, the question remains is, are you legal? Because if you're not, Mahmoud Asafi, which is his government name, does that mean that you could be deported? Because quiet as it's kept, we've had people that, what was it? There was one that came from his first administration. There was a woman that said that her husband voted for Trump and she's being deported. So they ain't playing out here with you hoes in regards to the whole, deportation situation. So yeah, that's his Instagram, and they show how many followers that he pretty much has and how many posts that he's done. So Winwin has a massive social media presence that, as of this writing, includes 507,000 followers on Instagram, 284,000 on Twitter, and an active OnlyFans page charging $20 a month, by $19.99 to be exact, a month for a subscription. Winwin also has a TikTok account with 3.4 million likes and 295,000 followers. Well, he gonna hate me when he see I post this shit up on TikTok, but the profile currently doesn't display any content. Oh, well, it doesn't have any content, so I guess he's not gonna hate me. But whatever, I'm sure it'll get around. And you know me, I don't back down for a fight. So you try to come for me, bitch, be prepared. So they said on November 6, 2024, Winwin shared an Instagram post that included an image originated by @Daily Patriot Report. Winwin wrote in the caption, "All the best and mega congratulations to our president, Mr. Real Donald Trump. Make America great and affordable and safe again. Love is love. We all together in this." I'm like, where is it not safe? Because I'll be walking down the street with no damn problem. So I don't understand why they all saying that y'all can't afford nothing. Like, I went to the grocery store yesterday and I bought a couple of things, and I literally, kid you not, I had about at least 15 items, and I spent under $100 at the grocery store. So prices are pretty much going down. Y'all just not been paying attention. So they said the non-embeddable Instagram post, which can be seen below, received a flood of mostly negative comments. So I do have a picture of it. And let me show y'all. So hold on. So yeah, that's the picture there that he's referring to. So one user wrote, 1 gay, 2 immigrant, 3 porn star. Man, you're the holy trinity of the kind of people Trump insults and Republican supporters hunt for. Another commented, LMAO, you'd be the first deported. Well, they're gonna learn today, che. Now, a fellow adult film star, Lucas Dell, wrote the following: disgusting and disappointing. Another response reads, you live off the gay community, yet you support a president who will only do harm to the LGBTQ community. How does that make sense? Now, reached out to Arad Winwin for comment. The adult film star promptly replied over a course of several DMs, explaining his reasons behind the political stance, as well as how he feels about the negative comments he has received. For communication purposes, reacted with a thumbs up emoji to every DM sent by a Winwin upon receiving and reading each message. Well, child, hold on, because I want to show y'all this. And these DMs were trying to read them. I told you my brain was killing me. He said, would you like to comment on why support Trump and / or share an argument / reason behind the political stance you've been sharing in public and on social media? He said, I congratulate the president of the country I live and love, the beauty of America, freedom of speech. But unfortunately, as you can see, how hate, anger, madness, toxic, and negativity getting because of that. If this is LGBT and Democrat and gay community and all, I don't want, spell want wrong, be part of it. Here is United States of America, and definitely we have talk and exercise our rights. This is simply a post for winning president. That's it. He said that's it. But read all of comments. Insane. I could luck the comment part too. Don't let anyone have comment, but I let them all saw how our LGBT full of toxic, full of anger. Maybe that's why every day LGBT community getting more haters and non-accepting because of this. Democrats so cute until you not agree with them. And just like that, they attack and eat you alive. You know what? I'm a grammar Nazi. You already know that, child. I'm ready to just fight simply because your English is god awful. And the fact that you're writing this is atrocious. Like, sir, you should be ashamed of yourself. And this is why they said, even though, you are from Iran and you came over to America, this is why our educational system is in the toilet. For this exact reason. So I'm going to just show y'all the thing. So that way it gives time if y'all watching this on your TV. Hold on. Let me take this banner out. I was like, if y'all seeing this on y'all TV or whatever the case is, you go pause it and read it. And let's get to the next one. Because I'm not reading through this. My head hurt. I can't. So, is there another one? So I was like, I said, I'll give y'all enough time to pause. And so now, in the meantime, because I'm tired of reading about this heifer. So since you are here, because one of the things he did say, like, what has Kamala Harris done for the gay community, right? So let me educate you. So Vice President Kamala Harris, what has she done in, as far as like the community? If she were to win, she would have made history as both the first woman to be president and first woman of color in the nation's highest office, the first Black woman and the first woman of South Asian heritage. She also most likely be the most pro-LGBTQ plus president. So she was born on October 20th, 1964 in Oakland, California, grew up in Berkeley in surrounding East San Francisco Bay Area, but we don't need her whole bio and stuff. I just want to know, what has she done with same-sex marriage? Because apparently, Google is your friend. When I hear people, what has she done for the gays? I'm about to tell you, because apparently y'all too damn lazy to look it up. So let me read it. So she began her law career in 1990 in the district attorney's office in Alameda County, California. There, she specialized in prosecuting child SA cases. In 2003, she was elected district attorney for San Francisco City and County. The following year, when San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom declared same-sex marriage legal in the city, Harris conducted marriages for same-sex couples. The marriages were later nullified, however. One of the most joyful moments of my career was performing the marriages in 2004. Truly joyful, Harris told The Advocate in 2023. This year, she reunited via a video call with a couple she married, Bradley Witherspoon and Raymond Cobain. I'll never forget pulling up to see all the families of every configuration, and just pure joy, pure happiness, she said on the call. It was such a special moment, and it was all about love. She also established a hate crime unit in the DA's office, as well as an environmental justice unit. She also created a program to give first-time drug offenders the opportunity to earn a high school degree and find employment. The U.S. Department of Justice called it a natural model of innovation for law enforcement. Well, hold on. Let me scroll and see if there's another one, because I want to give y'all can try to pause and read while I'm doing this. Now, in 2010, she was elected California Attorney General, overseeing the largest state-level justice department of the nation. As AG, she played a key role in restoring marriage equality in the Golden State. One of the signature issues in her campaign was her opposition for Proposition 8, the voter-approved ballot initiative that revoked marriage equality in California in 2008. The first time I heard about Prop 8, of course, was watching Queer as Folk. That's when they started to get a little political with the show. It said that, the first time, they said the voter-approved ballot initiative to revoke marriage equality in California in 2008, undoing a state Supreme Court decision that allowed same-sex couples to marry. Both she and Jerry Brown, who were elected governor in 2010, said that they would not defend Prop 8 in court, and Brown's predecessor as governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, had done the same. If Steve Cooley, Harris's opponent in the AG race, who had pledged to defend Prop 8, had won, it might have changed the ballot measure's fate. So now, as it was, the proposition supporters had to defend it against court challenges, and courts all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court agreed they didn't have legal standing to do so, and because of that, Prop 8 was struck down. After Prop 8 bit the dust in 2013, she officiated the first post-Prop 8 same-sex marriage in California between Chris Perry and Sandy Steer, who had been part of the court case. So now they're saying Harris on gay and trans panic defenses. As AG, she went on to lead efforts to abolish gay and transgender panic defenses in criminal trials. She received some criticism for the position she took as AG back in the state of California when it sought to deny gender-affirming surgery to a trans prisoner. But Harris has pointed out that when she was Attorney General, the state's Department of Corrections was a client of hers, and she had to represent its interests. but she worked behind the scenes to get the policy changed so that any inmate inquiring such procedures could receive them. And this is that whole fear mongering that Trump was doing, where he's like, oh, yeah, they're just giving everybody, people going into jail, coming out a whole done agenda. Not everybody in jail identifies as trans. So that when you put it in that layman sense, oh, they just going into jail as a man and coming out as a woman, that ruffles things in bigots and them crazy religious zealots. She also won $20 billion settlement for state residents who had lost their homes to foreclosure and a $1.1 billion settlement for those who were cheated by a for-profit education company. She defended the Affordable Care Act in court and enforced environmental laws. She was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2016. She received perfect 100 score on the Human Rights Campaign Congressional Scorecard, which measures support for LGBTQ plus equality, before leaving the Senate to become vice president. Her record likewise includes perfect ratings from reproductive rights groups such as Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Neural Pro-Choice America, now known as Reproductive Freedom for All, and Neural Pro-Choice California. And look, so she's done a lot of things. She's also given access people to PrEP and protecting trans kids. And, President Biden honored her work on marriage equality by gifting her with the pen he used to sign the Respect for Marriage Act in December of 2022. So she's done a lot of things in regards of helping out the LGBTQIA plus community. And all this heifer had to do was take his dumb ass over to social media instead of running your mouth with these 20-hour little rants. Yeah, this is all the crap that he wrote. He said the most place to visit is city next to them city. Life hero is RuPaul drags. They only can do hate and judge, and way more closed-minded and believe very fast and easy to what they see. Child, I can't. Why do I keep torturing myself trying to read this mess? So yeah, and these are the things, before we get up off this, this is the posts that he's been putting all over his social media, the screenshots. We're trying to say that things will be cheaper under President Trump versus Joe Biden, not pointing out the fact that prices skyrocketed under Trump's situation. He's a disaster to the economy. This is a man that's gone bankrupt over half a dozen times, but this is who y'all want running the country. Just say the fact that y'all didn't want her to be the president, regardless of how you feel about her policies, whatever. The reason why some people voted for her is because of her stance on reproductive rights, because of her stance on LGBTQIA plus issues, which wasn't even mentioned during this campaign, by the way, and trying to help people with owning a home. So yeah, so he was posting all this stuff, men or hero. We was talking about, I guess, as a person, an immigrant sitting on the thing. But I'm like, sir, you an immigrant. How you throwing shade at immigrants when you win your damn self? And so yeah, these are, I just want to show y'all like this little slide of all the things that he was posting on his page. And they're talking about, but you should hate rich people. I was like, that's all Trump had up on there, billionaire business people. So this is all, yeah, it's like, I just want to keep showing y'all all the stuff we were talking about, because it's a lot. Lord, I'm tired of, look, and there's a they them thing up in here too. It's about ugly people with no personality or skills. I do remember some people posted that. Another person said it's funny how people are for democracy but unfollow/block someone when they have a different political opinion. That's another thing too that gets on my damn nerves about people. I was like, y'all always quick to call us snowflakes, or we don't know how to take a joke, or whatever the case is. But the minute we point out something about y'all, automatic block, or where y'all want to call us names. Like, I'm all for debating somebody and having a different conversation and pointing out to you that, you know what, your information is incorrect and this is why. But if you want to be somebody with a hard head and a soft ass, then I ain't got time to talk to you. I don't have time to give you the energy that I want to give to somebody who'll be willing to listen and learn some stuff. But the fact of the matter is, some people are so caught up in the situation that you mentioned Democrat. That's like a trigger. That's sort of like y'all sleeper agents. You say Democrat and these people go haywire. It's like y'all. It's like that movie Cuckoo, where they doing them crazy experiments, and then y'all start losing y'all damn mind. And then he started trying to throw shade at Black Lives Matter. To my 4 years ago, zero posts and way, way, way more support Sleepy Joe Biden. Every day march for Black Lives Matter. Even I wasn't that much agree with movement, but supported. So you're trying to say you wasn't a fan of Black Lives Matter, but you supported it. Why? Because it was the trendy thing to do rather than actually being a full supporter of Black Lives Matter. Child, we don't want your goddamn support. Don't be up in here doing that fake. And this is another thing I can't stand about some of you saltines where y'all want to jump on a situation. Yeah, I'm calling you racist ass white people saltines. The flavorless crackers. When y'all get up in here and y'all start saying all this other stuff, like don't jump on no whole Black Lives Matter campaign or whatever the case is. Oh, you thinking putting a little blackout on your page. Oh, you doing your part. Oh, are you like, I'm gonna take a line from whoever they said about Keke Palmer on the set of Screen Queen. Who you think you are, Martin Luther fucking King? Because you put a little blackout in the background of your stuff. But anyway, so I know that was a long one, but it was like I had to break all of that down with them. It's like I can't with these damn grifters. There's a lot of grifters out here today. It's like these closed-minded, lost-ass homosexuals for Donald Trump. You got the dumbass Bruce Jenner for Trump, hating on his own damn trans community, throwing them under the bus for what? Because you want to be called for your service? Trump don't need you. You could even hack it when you were trying to get into politics by yourself. Why would he want to add you to something? You have nothing to offer. So I say all this to say, what do you think of this long story? Whatever your thoughts are. Boy, it's like, hold on now, because I had to pause at it and unpause. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay. All right, we read that already. He wanted to be a woman to play with women, make it make sense. The Devin guy, I can't say I'm surprised he's a Trumper. He ran through and hands been all up in there. Also, I think he does a lot of white powder too. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Mama's out here doing, she a Methodist, a practicing Methodist, if you know what I'm saying. Capitalize the METH. Not being funny. I hope everything in Project 2025 comes through. I'll be watching from the comfort of my safe space in England. Well, lucky you, Chair. It's at least you know when it came time to run. At least you know when it's time to run, come to Europe. I'm not surprised the majority of white men voted for Trump, even with those who live in blue states. A lot of snakes among us. Absolutely, especially the 2 million in New York, too. No, not Atlas. Alex Grams. ALEX. I said, aren't these now? Well, yeah, they are. They all washed up. That's what I was going to say. But I was spending so much time breaking all that down. The older I get, the more I don't want to associate with people, especially with white men. I can't trust anyone anymore. That's why a lot of times I say to my damn self, I wonder how these black corn actors Devin did scenes with on Norm Mail and his own content creations feel. Anyone who could remember their fetishized selves should feel no guilt reading them fulfill. And that's another thing I should have pointed out to is like, yeah, I wonder how we did read a couple of the adult cinema, adult performers who pretty much went against and had an issue with what he was doing. But I am curious. It's like, how do these people feel? Like y'all was up in here getting mad and Michael Lucas and then jumped on your little soapbox when it came to Austin Wolf. But these people with in regards to these adult performers who have voted for Trump, the same ones y'all out here with this energy of, I'm outing these undercover brothers for having sex with men on the low, but you voting for Trump. Since y'all want to out them, I want to hear y'all pull out your bullhorns, get on social media, and let me know where y'all stand in regards of bringing this conversation up, in regards of will you continue to collaborate with other models or a model now that you know that they're a Trump supporter, that they voted against your livelihood, their own livelihood. If Devin is still making stuff, Arad says he no longer performs, but I'm sure Devin does. And when porn is banned, allegedly, is there going to be a situation where, oh my God, I think I made a mistake? Well, it's too late, dummy. And I agree. Arad is a definition of a dumb job. It's like, yeah, just be pretty. When Arad gets deported back to Iran, his YT twinks are gonna be lonely. He would be put in prison if he got deported to Iran, and much worse, sadly. Is it because he went AWOL? Is it because he went AWOL? Because he was in the military and they said that he escaped on foot. So if he did go back to Iran and they found out that he was brought back into the country, yeah, they probably would kill him, because then, you know, I'm sure they know that some of the stuff he's done is out there. Who married a homosexual? And so I will never understand these gays for Trump thing. Me either. Too many immigrants are so ignorant about this country's history and why they are able to get the things they have now, all because of Black people, both straight and LGBTQ alike. Yeah, but they realize that the only way to keep this, the only way that these rich folks can continue to grip and steal, you know, all the piece of the pie, leave us a little bit of crumbs, keep us fighting amongst each other. Oh, the immigrants are the enemy. Oh, the trans people are the enemy. Oh, the gays are the enemy. Oh, women are the enemy. So vote against your own self-interest. Keep the infighting going while we at the top and the 1% continue to give ourselves kickbacks, continue to give ourselves billions of dollars and feast like kings, while the rest of them peasants continue to fight. We see it so many times in so many shows and so many movies, and we've seen it happen politically. We've seen it happen in other countries. Yeah, we continue to vote against our own self-interest. It just ceases to amaze me how uneducated and dumb people can be when it comes to situations, all because they allow their hatred towards other people get the best of them. My motto is live and let live. If you're not hurting me, if you're not interfering in anything I got going on, I can give a shit what you do. I don't understand why people go and get so caught up in what other people are doing. Like, what they got to do? Like, you ain't got a life? You ain't got nothing going on with yourself that you worried about what this one's doing over here, how this person living their life, or how they decide to wake up one morning. And I'm just saying this example because, you know, they don't just wake up in one morning and decide to transition. But why do you care what these gay people, how many people this person fucking? Or if this woman decides to get an abortion because of whatever dire circumstance she's going through in her life, or the fact that these, you know, this person is feeling like they were trapped and born in the wrong body, and they want to be able to live in their truth and be their authentic self and be able to match the outside that is on the inside. Like, why do people be concerned with that? It just doesn't make sense to me that people worry so much about sticking their nose in other people's business instead of minding the business that pays them. And they spit and disrespect us. I can't wait for them to get their wake-up call. Oh, yeah, it's coming. Oh, I apologize. Didn't hear that properly. Okay, because, you know, I was talking about, I said Alex Grant. Yeah, I've seen his stuff. Meek Mill screaming out in pain as, not that video. I mean, that audio. You know, they said, I don't even go in there. They said it's not legal to be gay in Iran. Oh, I know that. That it's illegal. Because, what was I watching? Oh, I was watching Masculine Jason's YouTube show, and he had a model that was on there. I can't remember his name. And he was talking about how the thing that makes him smile in regards of like what he does is that there was a guy that messaged him and said that he can't, thank you for allowing him, like what your content, allowing him to be himself in that moment, that he can't be gay where he is from, which is Iran. So he has to keep it hidden. And unfortunately, we live in this world where it's like, it's not okay to be gay in certain places. And people gonna learn as like, you know, all the things that we took for granted, y'all willing to sell that up for your own personal self-interest? All the things our ancestors worked hard for, basically just being taken apart piece by piece. Driver C said that wasn't Diddy or me. Oh yeah, no, Felix said that was from a porn. Yeah, I remember that it wasn't Diddy or me. It was somebody took an audio, and I cackle every time I hear it, but yeah, so there's that. Okay, so now let's lighten up the load a little bit, because, you know, it was a little, that whole thing gave me a headache between talking about Bruce Jenner and talking about, yeah, that old Tide bitch, and talking about the porn stars for Trump. I need a palate cleanser. So let's get into talking about Law Roach and the fact that the fans are campaigning for Law to be a permanent judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. And I have to say, I'm here for it. But y'all already know this because I feel like I've talked about this before. But I saw like the article was making the rounds over on Pink News. So I was like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So after Laura Roach received rave reviews from fans after appearing on the 16th season of Drag Race as a guest judge, now said fans are campaigning for the fashion architect to sit at the judges' table permanently. So the celebrity stylist first made his Drag Race debut, as we said, on season 16 of the reality competition series, and he didn't come to play. He came to slay. I just added it up in there. Hey, Shea Coulee. It said Roach famously criticized Plasma and praised Plain Jane for creating an immaculate ice skating costume using her competition's leftover fabric. Oh yeah, that was the episode that Plasma went home. And she had that horrible ass Morticia Adams wig. But anyway, he said on the series, Plasma, I would have saw Jane using the same fabric to create that. I'd literally punch that bitch in the throat. The star who frequently styles none other than icon Zendaya and Celine Dion, or as I like to say, Celine Dion, made quite an impression on the series. Now viewers are calling for Roach to be a permanent addition to the Drag Race judging panel, which sees RuPaul, Michelle Visage, and one of the three rotating judges, Carson Kressley, Ross Matthews, and T.S. Madison. Now, in response to the public outcry for more Roach goodness on the show, the styling icon has confirmed that he would definitely do it if he were asked. So let's take a gander over to TikTok and let's talk about, well, play the video what he said. Please hold.
Fans are calling obviously for you to be a full-time judge. Would this be something you consider?
If I was asked to do it, I would definitely do it. First of all, I've always loved RuPaul. 30 years ago, she had the same thing. Love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how the hell could you love someone else? Also, to bring an underground art form to the mainstream and to the masses, that the way she's done it is incredible. When we look back and look at people who actually changed the world in our generation, you have to mention Ru. For me to walk into that establishment and to see it in person, her and Michelle Visage, their relationship and the friendship they've had for years, and that loyalty, you can just tell that Ru is just a good person.
Fans are calling obviously.
And so, a lot of people agree that they want to see Law, on there as a judge. But to be honest, I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. I actually prefer Law when he did his guest judge stint on season 16. And, then all of his stint on Legendary. I think like a lot of people was kind of side-eyeing the situation when Law came on there, and I will agree. Or I will admit, I should say, that I did have my trepidations simply because when he was on Legendary, I wasn't really caring for him as a judge on there. Because it's sort of like, okay, maybe you do have ties to ballroom in some sort of way, but as far as like the judging and things that you were saying, I just wasn't buying it. I just wasn't feeling it. So I kind of just like, I watched the show, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I wasn't feeling Law as one of the judges. Now, as far as coming on Drag Race, he definitely is someone who seems like loves the art of drag, that also could judge on fashion. And one of the things I would love to see RuPaul's Drag Race do, especially, is bring a lot of fashion challenges back to Drag Race. I felt like they did that a lot last season, so I was living for that. And I love those because remember, when Drag Race first started, it was a cross between Project Runway and America's Next Top Model, but just with drag queens. The one thing I will say that I love about Dragula is the fact that, versus Drag Race, is that the Dragula girls make their stuff and they present it on, the floor show. They call it the floor show. On Drag Race, they call it a runway. Whereas on Drag Race, it seemed like y'all just be spending thousands of dollars to give us runway looks. But I also love when they do the fashion challenges because it's like, okay, now y'all got to get creative. And there's no excuse. We're about to go into season 17 in January, and y'all out here still don't know how to use a damn sewing machine. And it's like, where they do that at? So to have someone like a Laura Roach get up there and really judge these people on fashion, and y'all know his impact in the fashion world, him coming on Drag Race and judging clothes, to me, that would be an iconic situation. And quiet as it's kept, I think it is time to shake up that damn judges table because, to me, I feel like Ross and Carson are past their Drag Race prime. Like, remember at one point it was like we had Santino, but Santino's a sad sack of shit these days. But overall, when we look at Ross and Carson, you know, when we had Santino on the show, it was like, okay, how long did he last? About 6-7 seasons. And then it was like, okay, let's move on. It's time to bring some new blood up in here. I feel like we've already done that with Carson and Ross. I don't feel like, honestly, that they offer anything inspirational, creative, entertaining in regards of the judging like they did when they were on the earlier seasons. I don't think they were as hungry, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't think they were as hungry as they were. So it may be time for them to sashay away and bring in some new blood. Now, people got a problem with it. There's too many black people on here. Oh, well, get over it. And we can't help it that we have that entertaining gene and we know how to read bitches down to the floor and we know how to give constructive criticism, but also give a little shade and throw it in there but make it entertaining. And so to have RuPaul, and of course Michelle, she ain't going no damn where because that's his ace boon coon. So we have RuPaul, Michelle, T.S. Madison, and we have Laura Roach as the permanent judges, but of course they're rotating, and then you bring in a guest celebrity judge or whatever the case is. To me, I prefer that rather than y'all still keep it the same old, same old. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all here for Laura Roach possibly coming aboard as being a part of the RuPaul's Drag Race judging panel? Mama Ru, I hope you're listening. And if somebody out there, somebody tag her in this and send it to her. Maybe I'll tag her into it. Because we definitely would love to see Laura on there. I don't know if Laura comes back in season 17 because we haven't gotten the official list of judges that's going to be on the show. We still don't even know who the queens are. But that's, I'm sure, because we almost closer to December, that's going to be coming out soon. So with all that being said, I'm excited for this upcoming season to see what's going on and who's going to be on the show and all this other stuff. And if not season 17, possibly season 18, they could shake it up. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Felix said, I had a friend who was Pakistani and I think he might have been gay, but his father was very Muslim tradition. Yeah. And it's like, you got to try to hide it. Unfortunately, Laura is perfect for RuPaul's Drag Race. I do think it's time to boot Carson and Ross, though they tied. I'm glad somebody agrees, but I know you're a fan of drag and Drag Race, so it is time for them to go. I'm worried season 17 is going to flop, and RuPaul's Drag Race is overall going to go through an oversaturation era for a bit. Yeah, because no shade, but I feel like I am a little bit oversaturated. It's like, look, we got Down Under just started. España is still on, which I was speaking to friends of mine who, are from Spain, and they were telling me the reason why y'all don't see a lot of the so-called, as we say, darker skin Spaniard performers on the show is because you don't have a lot of darker skin drag performers. It's a very small community out there in Spain. You don't see a lot of those types. Like on this season, they told me they had some gypsies on there, which I guess to some is a derogatory word, but is a word that is used, and they are, there's a lot of racism that a lot of the gypsies experience in Spain. So when we look at things, I think a lot of times in America, we always try to look at things as, oh, well, there's not enough of this and there's not enough of that, because America, we have so many melting pot of people that live here. Whereas if you go to another country, it's not the same. So Enrique was like, I was trying to explain that to you, but I was like, yeah, but you wrote that when you write that in like a little comment thing on Facebook, you can't really get the overall assessment of what you're trying to say. I said, sometimes you gotta, when I be wanting to explain things and I don't be in the mood. I said, that's why I got this show, that I could just say it out my mouth, because who want to sit up in here and type up a whole damn, school thesis on, an opinion regarding different identities of people that are not getting enough shine on Drag Race. Now, I don't know about Mexico. Y'all got to figure that out within why are there not enough indigenous drag queens or a lot of that sort of thing. But it's different in Spain. So there might be a bit of oversaturation. We're also supposed to be getting South Africa. So yeah, it's just like, and then we got Thailand coming. Like we already have what is it, the second episode, and I gotta watch it too, of Down Under. I'm actually liking it with Michelle Visage. So the first episode. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the second episode. And then I gotta catch up on España. There's UK is I believe, right? I gotta catch up on UK. Also we're getting Canada. So yeah, it does feel like I know it is. Santina was on the show for the first 6 seasons. Okay. And the XYX, there's already, oh, you're talking about Onyx. There's already an oversaturation, but they don't show the international seasons on regular TV like the main season. Yeah, it's like you got to have Wow Presents Plus, which is why I use a friend of mine's. And it said the semifinals of All Stars 10 is supposed to film until March. The semifinals? But it was like, wait a minute. Didn't they film All Stars 10 already? I gotta call up my source to find out that tea. Oh, you said yeah, it is coming out in January. It comes out, I think, right after New Year's, so that Friday, from what I was told. But I gotta rejudge my memory with my source to find out when. And shout out to a friend of mine, Victor Yates, who y'all know chimes in every now and again in the show, and also has his own YouTube channel. He's on the new season of For the Love of Dills. Didn't I tell y'all, like, every damn season of that show, I know somebody that's on there. So season 1, I had Alex Teases, who was a friend of mine. Then season 2, I had Nick Mask, who was, well, I said on season 2. And then season 3, I got Victor Gates. I was looking at the pictures. I was just scrolling through. I was just like, okay, whatever. And I put it down to pasture. The new trailer came out today, actually, which is juicy. I don't know if I can play it on here because I don't know if it's going to get me. Well, I don't know. It's Out TV. I don't think that they hold people to the same regard as like NBC and all the other stuff because it's on Out TV. You got to watch it. But the trailer looked really good. So if y'all want, you could definitely go over to Instagram and watch the new trailer. But I was excited to hear it. And I messaged him. I was like, bitch, why didn't you tell me you was on the new season of the show? And he said, remember, that was the big thing I was telling you about that I was going to be a part of. I totally forgot. Because, people, I get so much information, I can't restore it all in his brain. Sometimes you got to push things out to make room for the new stuff. So he was like, that was the thing I was trying to tell you about, that it was a big secret. And he said, yeah, if I would have told you I signed an NDA, I would have been sued for the $5 I got in my account. I was like, you funny. But it was like, yeah, that's why he didn't tell me. But he did tell me that when they come to New York, the cast, he's gonna let me know. I said, okay, I'm gonna get the exclusives, I'm gonna get the photos, I'm gonna get all that stuff, and I'll come back and tell you on the show. So when it all goes down, I like For the Love of Dills. It's a good, entertaining, gay dating reality show. You said, yeah, All Stars usually is during the summer, but I think it was like, yeah, there was it was, I think, shot differently. So I think it was that they shot the season and then there's some sort of semifinal scene that they're going to shoot later on in the year. So that way people don't get a heads up of like who won or whatever the case is, who's in the finals, all that other mess. So there's some tea. Well, I got to find out more tea on that. You said they filmed this season of All Stars differently. There's spoiler videos about it, but it's confusing to explain. That's the one thing I hate about RuPaul's Drag Race, that there's so much spoilery stuff that's out there in regards to that. Hold on. I was like, okay, I got it. Okay, so we got 2 more topics, so let's get into them. And let's talk about Miss Soul Been Clocked herself, Monica Beverly Hills, who is breaking her silence on her grifted ass. See, I told you a lot of grifters in this episode today. Her ex, Josh Sater's trans host. Because remember, he was running around to my how he transgender. But apparently he wasn't. I guess because when Monica Beverly Hills done dumped his ass, then he wanted to run around and start coming up with this fake narrative. So RuPaul's Drag Race star and trans icon Monica Beverly Hills has broken her silence on alleged ex Josh Sater's recent stunt of pretending to be a trans woman. Sater first appeared on the American reality TV series The Bachelorette in 2015 and was eliminated in week 1. He later came out as bisexual in 2023. So, child, you was the pork chop of your damn season, and now you up in here trying to grift on the backs of the trans and the bisexuals, because now if you out here playing with the whole trans thing, it kind of got me side-eyeing you. It's like, are you really bisexual, or are you just doing all of this for clout? And some people will do anything and jump on any kind of bandwagon in order to, keep that drug known as fame going. So the former reality star then seemingly died that same year, with a hacker reportedly to blame for posting a message to Sater's socials. It was reported the same day that Sater was alive and well. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Now, RuPaul's Drag Race star Monica Beverly Hills, who first appeared on season 5 of the show and was the first contestant to come out as trans during filming, claimed at the time that he was that true? Because I could have sworn Sonique came out as trans, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so we'll just go with Monica Beverly Hills. They claimed at the time that he had faked his own death and that she dated him for 3 weeks shortly before. Child, the mess out here pulling stunts and shows. Cedar replied and said that this was a ridiculous accusation made up by somebody with nothing better to do with their time. In recent weeks, Cedar has made an unfortunate name for himself by coming out as a trans woman and then revealing it to be a hoax and a social experiment to expose woke culture and own the libs. I swear to Christ, y'all stay trying to own the libs, and then so what is your version of owning the libs? Because I have yet to see y'all own one. You just be out here looking dumb as hell. Then he posted in this picture so y'all can know what this old heifer looked like. Is Fox News more reliable than CNN? Hell no. I think both of y'all are trash, quiet as it's kept. That's why I don't listen to nothing. Oh, I damn sure don't listen to Fox News, but I don't really listen to anything CNN. CNN is a cackle. I feel like all mainstream media is bullshit for the most part. That's why I already told y'all the political pundits I follow. I talked about that on yesterday's show. So the hoax had been addressed in a TikTok video criticizing Cedar's double standards for ridiculing trans women after allegedly dating one, and Hills has now broken her silence on it too. Now, the video originally posted to TikTok and reposted to X by Elijah Daniel, an explanation video by user Zero O's. Is it how many? Okay, there's a lot of damn zeros. Explains Cedar's tumultuous history with Hills. Well, let's hold on and see if the video was there, and then I can play it for y'all. Okay, I got it. Hold on, because we're going to play her. I just want to give you an idea what Mr. Cedar looked like. Child, they got Ray J and Sky Jackson, two trash boxes trending right now. Ray J has always been a trash box, and Sky Jackson, child, you ain't nothing but a hood booger now. But anyway, we'll talk about her later on. Let's focus on this.
Hey, Josh, you don't know me, but I remember you. I remember when you got dumped for being a clout chaser by actual transgender woman, Miss Monica Beverly Hills of RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, and then after Monica dumped you, you publicly crashed out and faked your own death on Instagram. That was weird. But that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is when Monica called you out for faking your own death, you insisted that you had never even dated her. In fact, you started using they, them pronouns for her, which is a major switch up from the breakup post you had made months earlier. Goofy. Not only that, but you had her Instagram in your profile while you were dating. Hello? So all this little stunt being the result of being dumped by an actual trans woman is fucking insane. Seek help.
What she said. Okay, so let's go back to this idiot. So then, they said on one of the screenshots of what appears to be Cedar's Instagram story reads, "Me and Monica have decided to go our separate ways," suggesting that they were in a relationship. Cedar also allegedly had Hill's Instagram profile tagged in his during the period in which they were dating. Replying to the video, Hills replied, "This, whoever she is, tell her I said thank you for this," referencing the explanation of the timeline of events. She then followed up by adding, "This is something I don't wish upon anyone. Took me a whole year to finally talk about it," which goes to show that this boy intentionally sought out Monica, or probably looking for any trans girl. Monica was basically the target. He basically tried to, go in and do whatever he could to piggyback off of the fact that, okay, she was this girl from RuPaul's Drag Race and using her for clout. That's basically what I'm just getting from the whole thing. He ain't nothing but a goddamn opportunist and a clout chaser and a clown. He also claimed that him dating Hills, who he referred to as the drag queen, was also part of the hoax. In a post published on November 11th, just a few hours after Hill's public statement, Cedar wrote, "I think of all the fake relationships I've had, the drag queen was a close second to being hottest." He added, "These are totally not a troll or part of my social experiment. Neither was my death hoax." Boy, you're a troll. Go jump off a cliff. So they said the reality TV personality posted over 131 Instagram posts and 100 reels trying to convince people that he was trans, desperate, thirsty, and pathetic. You did 131 Instagram posts and 100 reels? Really? all for a tight ass social experiment. I just think this boy is mentally unwell. Somebody book his ass to Arkham Asylum. So the reality TV, they also said that eventually revealing on an episode of Blaze TV's Prime Time with Alex Stein on Tuesday, the 15th of October, that this was a trick, gullible, and delusional leftists. First of all, we've seen pictures of you and you know, with whoever did your makeup. Obviously, if it was you, you did it with your eyes blindfolded. You must have had cataracts in the situation. And then you literally look like a man in a damn dress. Since we talking about men in dresses, we was talking about Bruce Jenner earlier, and now we're gonna talk about this idiot who got who had more chest hair exposed than God knows what, and then walking around wearing a dress, literally like a fucking linebacker dressed in drag. But now out here talking about you wanted to trick gullible and delusional leftists. If there were people that believe this, I guess maybe people were trying to give you grace because, you know, we want to show respect for people who identify as trans and all this other stuff. But for you to sit and go out of your way to play up this little stunt for attention because you want to own the libs, whatever the fuck that means, you're just a tired ass piece of shit. And if I saw him in person, I'd definitely kick his goddamn teeth in. You know, I try not to be violent. But people like him, it's just like, sometimes you just want to deck them and punch them, you know, knock their teeth in the back of their damn throat. That's what he gives me. Tired ass tired little showgirl. Anyway, so I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this situation. See, Monica been out here clocking souls, but she ain't clock him. Literally in the mouth. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. No, so Onyx says they filmed this season also. Oh yeah, we read that one already. I talked to Monica right after he pretended. Really? I talked to Monica right after he pretended to die. She wrote a beautiful tribute to him and shared some pictures of them together. Then she found out the next day that he lied and she was pissed. Then she went on a rant and I talked to her. Ooh, what she said? Spill the tea. You said, yes, Sonique was the first queen to come out as trans on the beginning. Thank you. Because I was like, I know I wasn't bugging. That Sonique was the first one. And then we've heard that queens came out years later as trans. Like we had a couple from season 3. We had who was it? Well, we had Jiggly Caliente came out as trans years later. We had Kenya Michaels came out. So it's a bunch of queens. And we got Ladora Delano, who looks good, by the way, because I saw that she did the Britney Spears Rolling Stone cover. And I think because she's doing a tour called Under the Covers. So she wound up doing the whole Britney cover thing. I was like, okay, that's cute. But then, of course, Carmen Carrera, you know, there's been a bunch of girls. So, you said work. Monica asked, thank me for checking in on her. And she said that it was sweet of me to ask her if she was okay. I like Monica. You know, she Banji. She from the pride. She said she from the hood. So that's why I gotta stay with my hood sisters. But anyway, so now let's get into our final topic. Let's talk about Valentina, who was opening up about having suicidal thoughts after she's been out here questioning her identity. Now, I always kind of thought that Valentina might have been either trans or possibly non-binary, because I was like, she gets full-on tuna fish when you see her. Like, that is full-on woman when you look at Valentina. So Valentina, who first appeared on season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2017 before being eliminated in the infamous greedy lip sync, and later returned to live her fantasy in All Stars 4 a few years later, announced in 2019 that they identify as non-binary. Now, speaking for the in a return of web profile series Portrait of a Queen, the former Drag Race Mexico host, who still uses she/her pronouns in drag, has revealed that she experienced suicidal thoughts while questioning her gender identity. So I think the biggest challenge in my life has been being born male. This is what she shared in the interview. I had this conversation with my brother where I was thinking that I identify with Ariel from The Little Mermaid. My brother cracked me by telling me that I was more like Pinocchio. trying to prove to my father that I was a real boy. Valentina continued, it was this putting on of the masculinity. Walk this way, talk this way, study this, go in this restroom. It really took me away from my authentic self. It's been so challenging my whole life, she added. I'm really ashamed about having suicidal thoughts before. I'm really ashamed of it because I don't ever want to go back to that low point in my life where I don't see the value of how life is beautiful. Now, Valentina also admitted that she now gets to enjoy everyday life living in the feminine realm. Valentina also told Out Magazine, I identify as non-binary in 2019. I don't completely feel like a man. I don't feel completely like a woman. I feel like a goddess. I feel like I'm my own gender. And I think that's why people go by they, them pronouns. Whereas you got Trump basically out here trying to tell people that he wants to put an executive order in place that you have to go by the identity of which you were born. So if you are born male, that is it, and that is that. You don't have a say, a wherewithal in, whether or not you want to decide that I don't feel like I was born in the wrong body, that I do identify as female, or I do identify as non-binary. I don't know why that bothers people. And the fact of the matter is, you would think that the Democrats will probably be working overtime trying to put policies in place to protect the rights of trans and non-binary Americans. That's what they should be trying to work on right now. Quiet as it's kept. One person said on CNN, and I think I got the screenshot, that what needs to happen is oh wait, I'm in the wrong thing. That they need to, damn, don't tell me I deleted it. I think I did. Well, I'll paraphrase it. So they basically said that what they should do is Biden should step down, make Kamala Harris the 47th president of the United States, and let her sign a bunch of executive orders and piss off Trump. I'm like, yeah, they playing dirty. Why we gotta still do the when they go low, we go high? So there should be things that all the things you said that you was going to do, sign them papers or get them people in office, do what you got to do to protect the democracy. And I'm just hand over everything to this madman a second time. Especially when you a damn federal criminal. So I totally get where Valentina is coming from, especially when she was like, I was ashamed of thinking about taking my own life. But it's because, when, especially when you're someone who's Latino, or, the hypermasculinity, where you're constantly told, if you have feminine traits, you need to walk like this, you need to talk like this, you need to try to remove yourself and try to lower your voice and try to not have, be stoic and not have a personality, because if you give a little too much with the hands, or you rock your neck a certain way, they're, I'm like, all that other stuff, you're gay, they call you the slurs, and they make the comments, and then, you're looked at as like a less than. And what you end up doing is either getting kicked out if you come out as a homosexual, or some people end up taking their own life. And I'm really hoping that this doesn't happen, especially with this upcoming situation about to happen in America, because they said that fears or calls spiked 700% when Donald Trump was announced as president, because, especially from the queer community, because they were afraid. What does this administration mean? We didn't know what to expect when he first ran, and we made it through that former administration. But now it's like, this feels a little different. So now, yeah, people are more afraid now because of what now he's sitting here talking about to do. Project 2025 wasn't even discussed during his first campaign. Now that we know what all that is in there and what's coming up, now people are scared. So I'm with Ms. Valentina on this situation. I'm glad that she came to terms of who she is and isn't, out here wondering about or wanted to take her own life, and that she's managed to come into her true, authentic self. And that sort of thing. So yeah, so in case y'all care or whatever, she's not on any of the seasons of Drag Race, because she doesn't do Drag Race Canada Drag Race Mexico anymore. But RuPaul Drag Race UK season 6 is currently airing on Wow Presents Plus. But if you're in the UK, you can watch it on the BBC iPlayer. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are in regards of what Valentina had to say, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. They said maybe I was just out of touch, but when Trump won, I was just like, I did the most I could. Well, you know, I said what I said. I was like, look, I went and I voted. I've been out here saying all the things that I've been saying, and it is what it is. But what do you think about the boxer who won the gold medal? I don't really think of anything about it. I didn't hear much. I mean, I didn't really think much about it. I was like, okay, whatever. But it was just all the vitriol that was coming from people that had a problem with this trans, or not even I don't really think she was trans. She just looked very masculine, which is what a lot of those female boxers look like, quiet as it's kept. But people had a problem with it. And then that's when Elon Musk and them started off with their rhetoric online. And she was talking about suing and stuff. I did see recount trending on social media, and there needs to be that. But I know a lot of people saying, regardless of, okay, they could do the recount, they could do all this other stuff, they'll still say it was inevitable. You still lost. But I say this, even with that being said, this is why Biden need to pull the ultimate chess game, checkmate. I'm like, you know what? Before the 20th of January, I'm stepping down as president, and I'm letting Kamala take over. She is the vice president. That's what the president does. If the president is incompetent, is not competent enough to do the job, they step down. They let the vice president step up and handle what needs to happen. You could let her be the president for a month and a half. Piss Trump off, because that's the rule. She is the vice president. Let her do what she got to do, sign whatever executive orders, papers, whatever needs to be signed to protect democracy and to protect a lot of the people that he's trying to, ruin. Immigrants, the LGBTQIA plus community, women, reproductive rights, those sort of things. Don't just sit on your damn hands, because he owns, he basically owns all three of the situation. What they said on one of the, I think it's the House, the Senate, and child, why? See, this is why I hate it. It's like I automatically, this mother flower comes up on my damn phone the minute I open Instagram. And I blame people like the neighborhood talk. Every time I turn around, this man says something, y'all just post every little thing he says, and y'all are part of the problem. So now they're saying that he'll have the DOJ pursue civil, what is it? I can't even see what it says. Civil something cases against universities that continue diversity, equity, and inclusion. So he's going after the whole DEI stuff, and the resurface campaign video claims is racial discrimination and will give, child, you can't be orange talking about racial discrimination. Shut up. And give restitution to victims. We are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our... Oh, this is who y'all voted for. I just hate hearing the sound of that man's voice. But anyway, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Excuse me. Because I'm going to scroll through this. Now they're talking about that he appoints an immigrant and an anchor baby to his administration. So Vivek Ramaswamy are going to work with him to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, and Elon Musk as well. People ain't got no kind of experience. Hold on. So it said Charlamagne the God calls Caitlyn Jenner a rich white man for supporting Trump. Now, what the people in the comments had to say? And this is on Kevin Ortega Rojas' page. I'm trans, but the way Caitlyn sells out trans people, that is not a trans person to me. He is a self-hating cross-dresser. Thank you. See, now this is pissing me off. So now, of course, Kevin on his high-ass horse going to sit there and talk about we don't give white people permission to be racist to black people that they disagree with. This should be no different. But here's the thing. If a trans woman said that Caitlyn is nothing more than a self-hating cross-dresser, then I don't think a cisgender male can sit up in here and tell a trans woman how she should feel about other trans people. So in other words, are you saying Caitlyn Jenner, who doesn't support trans athletes, is representative of the trans experience? Jenner has accrued a lot of white male privilege and behaves as such. So here's why Kevin said no, because that's not my call to make. What I'm saying is that allowing people to disrespect one trans person or anyone from a marginalized group, regardless of how we feel about the person in question, is a trickle-down effect. Okay, get off your moral high horse, child. Like, normally I care about you, but we're going to go on this whole moral high horse shit. Get off my line with that. And I said what I said earlier. So even me being a part of the Rainbow Coalition, I say that, you know what? we as a community can call that bitch a cross-dresser. You straight people can't say it, but we can, because you part of the community. We are part of the community. But see, now I'm waving my phone now. They think I got a technical problem. But anyway, whatever. I'm about sick and tired of Trump and talking about that old trash box. You say Elon just got a position at the White House. Yeah, that's what we're just talking about with Elon and Vivek. We knew that was all going to happen. Now all they care about is protecting their businesses. They don't care about this government and how you a damn illegal immigrant trying to be a part of the American government. Personally, I think the Dems should let him do everything he wants to do. That's the only way people will learn. I think even after all this, they still won't learn. I did a whole situation on what the Democrats need to do on yesterday's show, and they still going to sit up in here and be like a bunch of punks and allow their ass to get spanked by the Republicans. So if y'all want to sit and watch the world burn to the fucking ground while you sit on your hands, then you know what? I'm going to just get my marshmallows on the stick, and I'm going to just put my damn marshmallow up to the flame and watch the shit burn along with y'all. Because if y'all don't care, I don't give a damn. And it said, anyways, the Dems don't have control of anything, so they can't really do anything even if they want to. Yeah, they don't, because they allowed this to happen. I don't know why Biden, and this is Joe Biden's fault. Why didn't he expand the Supreme Court? He had many a times to do it. He refused. So now this is the outcome. But his mind, allegedly, his mind bad any damn way. So it ain't gonna be like he was gonna be able to process what's going on anyway. Anyway. Wait, let me take this banner out. I always forget to take that out. I really actually like it as overall. They must have rejudged the whole page because I like how the color and the banner and everything. So anyway, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning into this episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I may try to come on tomorrow. Don't hold it against me, but I'm gonna try to come on tomorrow. If you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I want to thank you all for tuning in to today's show. And all that good stuff. I do see that I got some more comments. Hold on. It said, I don't see how mass deportation is practical or possible. I don't even think it's going to happen. Because first of all, if they even did mass deportation, who the hell is picking... And I don't care if people get offended by this, but who else is going to work them jobs in the field picking the damn fruits and vegetables? You white people ain't getting out there and doing it, and especially black folks ain't doing it. We don't like the heat. So we're not getting out there. And look, slavery is over. My ancestors picked all that goddamn shit out there in the fields. I ain't getting my ass out there in no damn heat. I don't even like being outside. How about that? So you ain't gonna see me out in no damn trees picking no damn fruit, let alone fucking cotton. So y'all can suck the shit out my ass with a straw. I ain't doing all that. All I'm saying is glad I'm not American. Child, I was at these dire times. I wish I wasn't either. But I am. I was born and raised here, and it is what it is. I'm stuck. Well, not necessarily stuck. It's like people could pack up and leave, but people have to also realize if you want to pack up and leave, you got to realize like how these other countries that you're trying to go to, how they process and how they work their things out. How you get in, when you travel to another country, what are their immigration laws like? Getting a job, being able to support yourself, the language barriers. There's so many different factors that goes into leaving the country. And to me, I feel like when things go bad, you don't leave your country, you fight back. And people in New York, they've been taken to the streets in regards of, fighting back against this wannabe fascists. So as I said before, thank you all for watching. And I will conclude tomorrow, hopefully. So Lord willing, or universe willing, whatever you pray to. So love you all for watching. And until next time. I don't even use debit cards. Wait, are you talking about the Metro card? Well, you said cutting off the debit cards. What does that mean? Like everybody needs a debit card to get around. I use debit cards when I use my debit card to tap to get on the train and stuff. I don't even use the Metro card. So I barely keep cash on me. So, but I do. Oh yeah, I did talk about that. He's cutting off the migrant debit card because he gives them like $300 something a week where they can go and buy like food and baby formula and all that other stuff if they have a family, and then they get put up in these hotels and things of that nature. So now that Trump has become president, and May Adams, oh yeah, I'm willing to work with you and all this other mess, and I'm like, child, get off my line, because first of all, Trump insulted your dumbass when he was at his rally at Madison Square Garden. Somebody, he's the worst damn mayor, which he kind of is. I mean, I don't know who would be the worst, him or Giuliani. I couldn't stand Giuliani, but he was a horrible mayor too. But it still is, and you a damn federal criminal allegedly. Why they ain't lock his ashy ass up? So, I did hear all of that, and another thing that people don't realize is that in New York, I know a lot of people have been complaining and voted for Trump because of, especially in Queens, Jackson Heights, there's a lot of migrants that live out there. I've had people telling me about it, especially when I'm on the train and you see a lot of the migrants that be on there. This is their grift that they do, or their little hustle. You will see a woman with a baby strapped onto them with like a sheet on their back, selling candy. This is the new hustle that they have in New York now, where you see a lot of migrant women and some guys that be on a train and they selling candy. They got the little M&Ms, the Chick-fil-A, all that stuff. And then, that's what they do, going back and forth on the train, selling that. And then they tell me that there's a high prostitution rate going on in Jackson Heights. So they out here selling candy and candy. The candy that people like to hide in their drawers. The one that's between me down there. So that's what's going on. And people talking about, these middle class people that live in Jackson Heights is not here for the fact that Meals on Wheels, Greg Abbott, transported all them damn people from Texas, them immigrants, down here to New York. And they building all these high luxury apartments, but they all empty because the rent is too damn high. I was talking to a friend of mine. I went to go visit him who had cancer. When Lamont Abiance, shout out to him, and was seeing how, like, when I saw his apartment is in Brooklyn, I'm like, oh, it's cute up in here. And when he was telling me for a 1-bedroom, he's spending almost $3,000. I'm like, bitch, where they do that at? Why is rent so damn expensive? Nobody's rent should be like that. But he also had a washer and dryer in his apartment. And I was like, that's one of the keys for me. Like when when you live anywhere, for me, a washer and dryer has to be efficient with the apartment, because I don't like going to the laundromat. I don't like having to wash my stuff, like traveling out of the building to go to the laundromat and sitting in there all day, leaving my clothes in there, and some bitch trying to rob me and steal my clothes when I got them sitting in the dryer, or somebody take my clothes out and put them in the thing because they want to use it. Hell no. I'd rather wash my stuff in my own house, so I got to deal with these thieves and these other people out here touching my stuff. So there's that. But anyway, let me get up off of here because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything since this morning, so I am a little starving right now. So I gotta go eat something. I got some spaghetti that I made, so I'm about to eat that. So love y'all for watching. I'll be on tomorrow, and until next time, ciao, darlings.